Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Beacon 250. I'm going to be one of your casters here today, Crucian Gaming, and I am here with one of the fastest racers in Star Citizen, Splen Shepard. Splen, how you feeling today, man?
Man, I am absolutely elated to be here casting with you today for my first ever ATMO Esports event. I couldn't imagine doing it with anyone greater, so thank you very much for the invitation. Crucian, I hope all you out there are ready for a good show. It's going to be an interesting day today. What do we have in store?
I think we have a lot in store today. We got the Beacon 250, obviously, but before we jump into that, Splen, I kind of need to know a little bit about you. I love to rant a little bit about what's going on in the Star Citizen community before we jump into today's race, but what have you been up to in Star Citizen, and what are you excited for in 323 coming up?
Well, I mean, I've been a little bit absent from the streaming scene lately as I've been heads down sort of testing in 3.23. You know, and just full disclosure, I'm HoverQuad, so I've been kind of grinding on this for months now, and we've been doing tons and tons of testing, you know, back and forth, and of course now it's an EPTU public. We've been given the green light to talk about the things, just not show the things. So I've had a lot of, you know, kind of a floodgates have opened when it comes to, you know, figuring out how this flight model is going to work, is not only for racing, but for combat and everything else in Star Citizen. So very busy, even though, you know, not very publicly busy. Hopefully we'll be back to streaming soon, but yeah, a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon for us.
I know, right? But hey, thank you so much for joining me. I am just excited to, you know, have Arena Commander and get those private lobbies back, so we're able to really put on some of the best shows are yet to come for not only the racing community, but the competitive community as a whole. So I'm very excited for that. But before we jump into our first segment, which we're going to be doing an incredible interview with Commander Fran from Beacon Events. Super excited for him to be here. Just to let everybody know in the chat that we have French translated subtitles. So if you guys may not understand English, you guys, I'll just say it anyways. If you enable your cookies on Twitch, you should be able to see the French translated or our English casting translated to French for you all at home. So if you don't understand English too much, then go ahead and hit those closed captions and make sure that you, you know, take advantage of that, because we did that just for the awesome community, our international community here on Twitch. So without further ado, Splen, we're celebrating Beacon 2024. That's going to be taking place on May 10th and 11th here next week. So, but, you know, before we start jumping into all of that, let's go ahead and bring our awesome guest, Commander Fran, coming up here right after this Beacon 2024 trailer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here after that incredible trailer from Beacon 2024. We have the one and only Commander Fran from Beacon Events. Commander Fran, how you doing today, man? Nice to see you.
Hi, thank you, Christian. Hi, everyone. And sorry for my bad English, and I will try to do my best.
Hey, I think your best is more than enough for us. So thank you for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to see you. I get to see you in a week as well, so I'm looking forward to that. So, well, let's kick things off. Fran, let's kick things off here, man. This celebration, this race is all about Beacon events. So, can you just tell us like a little bit of the history and how Beacon, the event, came to fruition? How did it come to life?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much to the ATMO Esports for all this work. This race will be very amazing. I know that's a very big work, and congratulations to all the team of ATMO Esports. Very great. About the history, in 2018, a group of 4 persons, Acta, Fred, Lizalis, and I, we would like to begin to think about an IRL event, to do an event in Belgium in 2019. As many other events in Europe, a kind of bar citizen. At the first bar citizen in 2019, we've got 100 people, and we made a second one in 2020, 170 people with already some devs and guests. At the first beacon, where Atmo was there with Corsair and Sevens, we've got 1,000 people on the 2 days. And a lot of people say you have to continue, and it's possible to do bigger and better, and that's it. And that's true, is with a lot of work, and all this is possible with dozens of volunteers and partnerships with great people like Atmo and like many other along the year. And now we are here after 2 years. We made a 300 people bar citizen last year, but wasn't a beacon. CIG called a BB beacon last year, but now this beacon will be very huge.
Oh wow! Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously this is a big event with big expectations. So tell me, where is the event taking place this year, and what can the attendees expect when they arrive?
Yeah. The beacon will be in Liege, in Belgium. Some say this center of Europe and easier to come for northern country and southern countries. And also easy to come from the devs, in easy way from CIG Frankfurt Studios, with a fast train in Liege. And for other people who come other countries, some information about the place and the map are on the website of the beacon.
Wow, that's
yeah. What can attendees expect that this year at the Beacon 2024? We have so many things. I will try to resume a little bit, but so many. I think that this Beacon is at least 3 times bigger than the first Beacon. We suppose that we should have between 3,000 and 5,000 attendees. It's very great. It's big, and should be the first fan-made Star Citizen convention. But at all, we have about 50 booths, activities and animations. We have so many great guests, as our friend Pedro Camacho. He is a great guy. This year we will have Gavin Rotary. Gavin Rotary is a concept art artist, and now is working in the movie business. We will have Chris Roberts and Sandy Roberts. They make a very big honor for us to come and to see exactly what this community builds about the Star Citizen. Also, we have very great French creator as GDG. GDG is a joueur du grenier. In English, is the player of the attic in French.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We also have Hugo Lizoire in that race. Crane, Kamak, also Meyer from England in
Meyer,
that race. Is with us today. Many people. Is very crazy. Many panels, interviews. I think we have 3 different stages. Is very huge. We will have a big part of the development of games in Belgium. We also have a Mandalorian with the Star Wars thematics. We will have a Mandalorian house.
Oh wow! Okay.
11 meters long, a very big house. Lightsaber Academy, many cosplay associations. And of course, a lot of people and association around Star Citizen, like
Did you
Squadron
say
Star Game,
Lightsaber Academy? Is that what you just said?
Lightsaber, yes,
I love
Lightsaber
this
Academy.
blending of
sick.
May 4th.
Yes,
This May
and
4th weekend with next weekend. The Star Wars is just continuing.
yes,
Yeah.
that the Star Wars is very big, the beacon, because we know that dev are the inspiration come from a part of this. We will also have the 501 association in the world for cosplayers, and we also have a very great armory, Cyber Armory. I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
exactly, but it's
Cool.
very big quality things. And we will also invite 3 associations that help people with disabilities gain access to video games. It's very important for us because we have social, cultural, and pedagogic thematics. Beacon is not commercial. It's non-profit, and we will like help the other. We
Okay.
like the community. We like the people, and people committed to help others.
Wonderful.
Oh, wow.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's so much happening there, friend, and
It's
it
like its own
sounds absolutely.
CitizenCon.
I know, right? But
It's
like you have
huge.
Star Wars and I saw on the website. Let's take a quick look at the schedule for Friday and Saturday right now, Fran. So the community can see. But you guys also have what I see is educational content that's going to be at Beacon. Can you talk a little bit about that educational content? Like, think there's game development at Beacon?
Yes, we will have some development studios. Some are students, some are non-students, and they will explain how to work in this business. If you are a 16 years old student, you are interested by this thematics of the video games. That's what we would like to do in the Beacon, is to explain all the jobs, all the works is possible in this micro clubs of video games, music, developments, community management, and a lot of things. And we are very proud to, with the help of the city of Liege, the help of the provinces of Liege, and a lot of partners very close. It's why it's not possible for us to do this in another place, because the city helps us a lot to make it possible.
Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Well, is there any new activities or anything that you're mostly excited about, Fran? You,
Yes,
not for the viewers, but what are you most excited about?
Me, and I didn't talk about it before, but the core permit should be, it's 500 square meter, should be the most immersive and biggest Star Citizen fan-made area never made in the world. So many people work on it more than a year. That will be an area, and you will believe that you are in the game. It's an inspiration of the thematics. It's beyond Stanton, if you see on my t-shirt, but you know what is beyond Stanton is the thing we will have soon. But it's that will be huge. A lot of lights effects, a lot of sound effects, and it's about 1 year and a half of work, about 100 people. It's crazy work.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Wow. Well, awesome. That sounds incredible.
Okay, so we're talking close to 5,000 people attending. So let's talk a little bit about the people who aren't attending. How can the people who aren't coming to Beacon this year get involved with the community and support Beacon?
Yeah, to support Beacon, it's possible to see us on Twitch. We should have, it's not my part, but I think we will have some cameras. After the panels, we will try to have some guests for interview, but the different panel won't be live. We let the exclusivity for the attendees at the Beacon, and we will find the complete panels and big intervention or interview after on our YouTube. But as non-profit association, you can help us to buy tickets to come at the Beacon. We have a TP also, but it's true. It is a big thing of the part is try to be break even about this event. But this year we make so many investments but to come to join with us and take pleasure and drink our Beacon beer. 1,000 people of Beacon beer we will produce just for the event.
Wow.
And just to come and have fun with us is the best support you can do.
That's how you can tell Belgium's. Yeah, I know, right? That's how you can tell Belgium's incredible. You can have a nonprofit that builds their own beer. I love it. So
Is Incredibles means crazy? Is the same word?
Well, I mean, a little bit of both is okay. It's okay.
I know, right? I know. So, I mean, friend, everything you do, man, you always have some type of incredible passion coming out because, that's why we do these events at ATMO Esports is passion for the community, but also to build a better ecosystem to hopefully bring some type of, competitive nature to StarCitizen in the future. But like for Beacon itself, where does your passion come from? And what do you see and how Beacon evolves in the future? What are the future plans?
For the passion where it comes from is not very easy to say, because a lot of people ask that, and I think the lonely answer is the community. This community is so amazing, and a lot of people come each year more to say, "Oh, what can I do to help you to be a lot of things?" And content creator, to make some videos, to make some graphics and picture, to work. We have Liege is building a true Grimex door. I don't know if you believe what is this, a true Grimex door, one ton, and we have a lot of people to help us to build these things. And I think is why is the people and this community is so crazy. You don't find this anywhere else, I think.
Yep. That's true. I totally agree.
And look forward in the future of Beacon. We really don't know. From now, such event is almost 2 years of work. Now, if we just make a copy paste, is maybe possible to make each year, but that could depend new volunteers, new partners, the success of this, because we are not sure right now to do a break even. But first thing after the Beacon for the team will be to rest a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
We have to rest a little bit. We are so tired.
Yeah, after CitizenCon last year, I had a lot of rest, and let me tell you.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So today, obviously, we're here for a special event. This is the Beacon 250, and well, we have to ask: do you have a favorite for the race today? I know you've seen the list of racers. Who is your pick to take home number one?
To be honest, we have great streamers today, very talented. But if I have to choose, maybe I will say Cyclone and his mate. Maybe Cyclone. I think I heard that he's very good of this kind of things. And for the winners, I will try. Can I show? Can I show it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
No, not the first one. Not the first one. The third one before. The third will win. This is I try to like this.
There you go.
Is the
oh wow, that's
third,
beautiful.
Yes, is very heavy. The second is much heavy. Is bigger. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, they're all different. I didn't notice that. Yeah. Oh wow, that's incredible.
He's much bigger. And the first is very heavy. All in a box. And this is the winner. Will win the Beacon 250 Champion Trophy. And I hope that you will be very motivated, the racers. And yes. That's
a
good trophy. Right.
Yes, thank you so much. Those trophies look incredible. By the way, if you guys want more information on Beacon, type !Beacon in the chat, BEACON, to learn more. And if you're in Europe, all right, if you're in Belgium, if you're in the surrounding countries, and you have next weekend off, and you're not a Beacon, you are wrong. I'm gonna just tell you straight up, you are wrong. Make sure you come out support. Make sure you come do some lightsaber training, like Fran said. Make sure you come check out, and come celebrate with the StarCitizen community. We absolutely would love to see everybody there. I'm telling you, it's going to be an incredible event. So !Beacon, BEACON, and learn and click on that and learn more about the event and what they have to offer. And we'll hopefully see you there. But Fran, without further ado, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the effort and all the passion that you bring in and putting on Beacon 2024. But are there any last words? You can say it in French or you can say it in English, whatever you want, or you can say them in both. Any last words that you want to give out to the community watching this race today?
Yeah. For the final words, if you are passionate by StarCitizen and true events, like Christian said, you have no excuse to don't come, because we will have people from United States, from Australia, from all over the Europe, and Chinese community will be there. And I forgot to say that we will have a true RSI retribution ship of 5.5 meters long. It's from Shanghai, and I forgot to say it. But good luck for this race to all racers and for the community. If you can come at this beacon, you won't be disappointed. And the beacon's sole aim is just to make you happy and have a great time with beautiful people.
Awesome. Well, Fran, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the race, and hopefully you'll be watching. And we will be seeing you next weekend. So again, if you at home wants to join us at Beacon, !mark Beacon in chat, make sure you click that link and come out with us. But Fran, thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thank you to you. See you soon, very soon. Bye-bye.
All right.
And good race.
Thanks, Fran. Appreciate it. All right. Splendid. A quick rundown of that summary. That was kind of a lot, man. Beacon is it's going on with a lot this year, man. What are your thoughts?
I mean, the scale of it is unbelievable. It's so hard to believe just how big the event is. I don't want to say the C word again because I got in trouble for saying that. Chat was berating me for saying it. But it is the second biggest event of the year when it comes to Star Citizen fans, and obviously the writing's on the wall here. For those who are going to be there next week, of course, you're going to see it in person, but already just from Fran's talking, the hype is real. Not only with all the cool community events like the Squadrons card game is going to be there, there's going to be lightsaber fights, there's going to be Mandalorians on guard.
I know.
Like, it's just incredible. So obviously, like, there's a lot to be excited about, and I'm excited for everyone who's going. Myself, I won't be. I know you'll be there, but for everyone who's going, I'm very excited for you, and it's going to be incredible show.
Spline, you hit it so well too, but all I'm going to say is that for those of you at home, if you obviously, for us in the US that always can't make trips like this, but make sure you guys are tuning in to all ATMO Esports social, whether Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. We will be making content throughout the entire week. The ATMO Esports team loves putting out some content. So if you guys want to keep up with Beacon and ATMO Esports, make sure you guys check out our socials, !mark socials in chat, and make sure you guys go follow us. By the way, if the closed captions are not working, it is an extension on your screen. So you guys have to turn it on. You guys have to turn it on yourselves because we don't know if people want that closed captions to be impeding over the screen. So it's up to you to turn that on and be able to use those captions as you want to. So without further ado, Splen, let's talk about the race and why we are here today. But before we jump into the race map, let's talk about the creators that are going to be joining us today, Splen, because I'm excited for this. We have some incredible content creators from Europe, but any of these creators stand out to you that you think are going to be doing very well in this race today?
You already know the answer today. You already know who I'm going to talk about. Our one USA racer, Gerbo, with his teammate Herbie, of course. Two of our System 7 racers as well. Not to say it out loud, but they're my favorites for today as well. They're very experienced racers when it comes to. I mean, at the very least, Gerbo is a very, very good hoverbike racer, which is our race type today. We're going to be racing the HoverQuad, so. A lot is going well for Gerbo. And Herbie, with his vast knowledge of ground racing, and of course taking home the System 7 championship trophy last year, plays a lot of safe and slow and steady with the hoverbikes, but knows them up and down, knows the physics of Star Citizen up and down. Obviously, there's a lot to watch there. And I believe that is our one onboard cam today as well. We're going to be watching Herbie's onboard, and we're going to be seeing the camera angles from all above the air, but we'll be able to see Herbie down in person on the bike. As far as some of the other creators, Meyer rings a bell. I don't know, some guy named Meyer. I don't know, maybe he's done some work here before or something. So Meyer, obviously, who's casted here at ATMO before, one of the Test Squadron members, and of course a wonderful personality if you haven't watched him on Twitch. So those are the two that stand out to me. Obviously, we've got a lot of France, a lot of Belgium, Switzerland, and a lot of UK content creators and racers today. So a lot I'm unfamiliar with and looking forward to learning who they are today.
Same here, and very well said here, but I want to give a shout out to all the creators for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Without you guys, obviously the promotion for the event wouldn't happen, and this is all about Beacon 2024, baby. But we got Hugo Slayer and Neo Skrisses with hopefully I say that right, but that's from his community. We got Water Patat, which I am excited to actually meet at Beacon, and then Dral Iskaldur, hopefully I said that right. I wanted to give it that. I don't know, that feels like a Lord of the Rings, type of name right there. But it sounds awesome. I ain't gonna lie. We got I know, right? We got Yannick from I believe is MGO and RTD. Sorry, Meyer and Hannah, the usual suspects. That's what I call. We got Herbie and Gerbo. I think that they should start maybe after the rest of the teams complete one lap as a handicap. I think that's what we should do to Herbie and Gerbo in this race. But we got the awesome Darginator, who is the unofficial co-host of the captain's table. It's an inside joke, but we have Steel, and my prediction is going to be, I am going to go with the prediction of Fran. He knows his creators well, so I think Cyclone and P Proud. I'm gonna back you guys today. So I hope to see some incredible. Then. Yes, so I'm gonna see. Hopefully they do some good action. I'm just trying to back up Fran's. We got Bauer and Twilink. Sorry if I'm saying all this wrong. I apologize. We got Sukana and Satanik, and then Julie Cat and Linksit. We got Vervine and Macindran, and then Loken Plays. Shout out to Loken Plays. A lot of these incredible creators. Shout out to you guys for being here. And I'm looking forward to this race. But before we do that, let's go take a look at our current race map and break this down for everybody at home. So Splen, talk about a little bit about the unique situation that we have with the current with this current course, the Beacon 250.
Okay, so the namesake of the race, the 250, speaks a bit to how long it is. It's going to be 3 laps here of 80 kilometers each, so a total of about 240 to 250, as the name implies. That's long. I mean, to put that in perspective, for those of you who are familiar with the Daymar Rally, it's a little less than half of that. So that we're talking about, a good hour and change of racing here for these hoverbike. Even the best hoverbike racers are going to have to slow down a bit. Plus, the rough and unforgiving terrain going around the new Babbage City, as people who have watched the Babbage Batch are very, very familiar with, know that it can slow you down. It is very, very dangerous. And speaking of that, there is sort of a special, let's not call it a MacGuffin, a part of this race that's going to be something unique for ATMO Esports, and that is the involvement of the pit lane, where we're going to allow the racers the opportunity to, if they feel like their hoverbike is taking too much damage, they could stop at the pit lane and replace it with up to, I think we have like 20 to 40 hoverbikes on standby, having been delivered there to a pickup area. They can drop off their bad bike, grab a new bike, and just keep going. Otherwise, if they crash and die, they have 3 lives. And they have to restart the lap they were on. So if you made it all the way up to checkpoint 2, guess what? You're back at the start line. So you don't want to do that. Try to take advantage of the pit lane. Other than that, I mean, it's very similar to Babbage Bash in that it starts underneath the Metro Loop track, but it is going in the opposite direction. You're actually going backwards through the back half of Babbage Bash, and then after that, we're going way up all the way to the Metro Loop depot, and coming back down a lot of the big hills of the new Babbage City proper. So it's going to be a lot to avoid. The ice itself, of course, is treacherous. People who watch the Babbage Bash would be familiar with, but overall, we're in for a very special treat today, Crucian.
Very great breakdown there, Splen. Really appreciate that. And on some other notes here, we are going to be putting cargo transport boxes throughout the course, so that way we have all of our racers stay on track. Now, even though we told some of the content creators, hey, invite some of your community member, this race is going to be solely everybody on their own. They need to be able to race individually, and it should be able to get it on. So I'm very excited for this one. It's a little bit longer, like you said, Splen. It's 80 kilometers, a little bit over that. We just rounded it down, so it looks like a better number on stream. But having this pit lane is going to be incredible. Like you mentioned, the 3 lives. So this is something that is completely different, but I'm excited for it because that way, as the creators or as the racers start to getting used to the race, hopefully they can use those 3 lives to their advantage to improve on these laps and hopefully go a little bit faster throughout the day. But I hope they practice, because this race, I would say anywhere from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2, you have a multitude of trees. And if you're going too fast, those trees will catch you off guard. You're going to clip it. You're going to flip around, because remember, the HoverQuad is wide. It's not going to be something that it's like the Nox, where you have to be aware of how wide the HoverQuad is at the front of it, and be able to make sure you don't clip these trees, because you can either get stuck or you can clip it and blow up instantly, where it's going to make you restart that lap and lose that life throughout the race. One.
That's right. Yeah, and I hope you racers out there haven't been spending too much time fawning over and practicing with the Mirai Pulse, which has been revealed that we'll be getting in 3.23. This is the HoverQuad. This is one of the newer bikes released, and like Crucian said, it is wide and proud of it. So it is one of the more agile hover bikes. You'll have an easier time getting around the obstacles. Top speed, not the top, You know, you got bikes like the Nox that are much faster, but I think that's okay for a race like today. We're talking about moguls, trees, like you were big ice, snowy ice drifts, and all kinds of things that are going to be in the way of these racers. So planning your routes and being able to get up and down and around is a little more important than just raw speed here, right? We don't want to end up colliding into obstacles.
Well, 100% totally understand that. And let's look at, you know, Fran just showed the trophies. Let's take a look at the trophies one more time, because we will be doing a live trophy presentation at Beacon. Even if the winner is not there, ATMO Esports is still going to do a live trophy presentation to just honor the two people that are going to be winning the race. But, I mean, the trophies look incredible. You guys saw it earlier. The Beacon 250, baby, it's going to be on. We're about getting ready to start very, very soon here. Racers are getting lined up. The pit lane is getting ready. I'm getting excited.
Let's
ready
go.
to roll. But yeah, man, I'm hoping to get this you know, to see this trophy in person and just spend some time with the community at Beacon here coming up next week. But I think let's take a look at the views now, Splen, because I believe we're almost ready to begin this race, and it's gonna be nighttime. Splen, how hard do you think this is gonna be nighttime with trees, man? That's gonna be a little bit tough, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, as primarily a ship racer, I know the hazards of flying at night with your headlights on in New Babbage, especially when you get up into the snowy areas, right? The headlights just accentuate the amount of snow and drift that's going to be in the air. It does blind you, quite literally snow blinding. So that's going to be working against these racers. But thankfully, a lot of the racers are able to race in third person pretty effectively, which does alleviate some of that problematic viewing. But in some cases, you may want to be in first person. It's going to be harder with the nighttime air, with the snow in your face and the headlights making everything worse, Crucian. I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of it's sort of just feeling the road, making sure you could do it. But at the end of the day, your visibility matters a lot, and nowhere more so than New Babbage.
Yep, I totally agree here. But hey, in the situation of an ATMO esports race, it doesn't matter when, where, why, day, night, snow, sleet, dust storms. You got, you know, sandworms. We don't care. We're racing, baby, and we've been doing this for so long now. So, you know, we're gonna be taking it. Hopefully, this is gonna. I think my suggestion would be to the racers to slow down here in the beginning, or once you get off the ice, slow down a little bit and then start kind of going through the city, so that way you don't blow up, because racing at night is definitely going to be a lot tougher if you don't have that experience with that HoverQuad. So it's not going to be as easy, but still super excited for it. I believe we're about to get a countdown going here very, very shortly. So I ain't gonna lie, man, our team behind the scenes, I want to give a big shout out to all of our staff and volunteers. Everybody woke up early to do this Beacon 250 event. So big shout out to our entire staff, volunteer, security, Walkers of Sigma. Always love you guys. You guys are incredible. But look at this race start, man. I'm excited for this one.
Absolutely. And of course, those of you watching and familiar with ATMO events, watch the bottom right of your screen. You'll see some names they're familiar with. And this is Enigmatics, of course. Camera view watching the start line here, seeing these racers get all warmed up and ready to go. We got some hover bikes dancing back and forth, keeping the joints in the bike from picking up any ice. You know, I got to keep them loose and limber. Got somebody down there walking around, looks like might be passing out drinks. Usually there is some amenities to behold down at the start line of an ATMO race due to, you know, having to get everything set up. You can be down there for a while. Looks like some of these racers are dressed for the weather. Some of them maybe not. Hopefully they've got their warm armor on, because that is a concern. I remember that being quite the concern over at the Babbage Bash. If you weren't wearing the right gear, you could actually freeze to death in the race. So hopefully they got all that handled. Otherwise, we're going to see some interesting DNFs today. But again, 3 lives, three strikes in your out, let's say, and you do have the opportunity to get a new bike if you need to. So everything is in the racers' hands. They have control of their own destinies here today, Crucian.
Yes, I know. They do have, you know, their own destiny. And again, it's these content creators are going to be going up against their own community members. And we did that because we want to be able to, you know, kind of just make an interesting race. But at least they're, you know, I don't know how some of the content creators pick their racer, but normally some of them would do like some type of giveaway to, you know, to race with a streamer, because normally they're fans. So, or, you know, part of the community. So it's awesome to see that we're able to kind of bring these two, I guess these two people, content creator, people from the community together to be able to race in this in the Beacon 250 today. But like one more thing, like I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, is that This is celebrating the Beacon 2024 event in Liege, Belgium. So make sure you guys type !Beacon in the chat to get all the information. And if you're in the surrounding countries or you're close and you're able and you have next weekend off, come join us at Beacon. And like Fran said, come do some lightsaber training, because I am doing that as soon as I get there somehow. I am definitely doing some lightsaber training. I'm excited for that one. So, and I'm truly excited, Splend, to kind of meet, I haven't met Tarada yet. I haven't met Water Potate yet. I haven't met a lot of these creators that I have admired and that I've worked with so much behind the scenes at ATMO Esports, and to finally be able to meet them in person and give them a hug if they let me, that'd be awesome. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's nothing beats the in-person experience. Something I learned, from going to CitizenCon last year, which was my first one, at least going live, it was so wonderful just to meet some of the faces and personalities and people you're familiar with. So, again, very happy for everyone who's attending. And if you have the opportunity to do so next weekend, if you're in the area, it's going to be in Belgium. So, it's really a unique experience you will never forget. And look, we've got our racers here getting off the ground. It looks like they're getting their heights up, getting the dust kicked out. They might have heard that the countdown has started. So I'm sure the nerves are top right now. White knuckles against the controls. The heart rates are raising here as these racers get ready to take off from the start line.
It's going to be great. By the way, for everybody that's watching at home, we should have a leaderboard updating you on placements on the top left of the screen. Let's pop that up right now. And this leaderboard is powered by scr.gg, where you guys can get check out some of the incredible maps and courses that ATMO Esports, Anzia, XGR has made over the past few years, and you guys are able to race those and hopefully do some incredible time trials on your own and be hopefully one of the fastest in the verse. So check out scr.gg, guys. It's an incredible website, incredible racing platform for those that are really loving racing in Star Citizen competing. So that will be your placements on the top left. So make sure you guys are taking a look at that throughout the race.
That's right. Big shout out to Diplomat, the creator of scr.gg, one of the best racers of the old school Star Citizen, a high placer in the Stanley Cup
old man?
a couple years back. That's I mean, it's been a while. We're all getting up there a little bit, Crucian. We can't deny it. And by the way, guys, if you're watching your favorite creators, some of them are streaming right now. You can catch Meyer, for example, streaming over on his channel. So if you want to see some point of views that we're not necessarily having here, get up your multi-streams. Put some content in your second monitors. Watch some of the point of views and some of the streams from some of these racers. It's very interesting to see what they're doing, what they're talking about. So again, this is a very big community experience here for Beacon. We're celebrating the content creators and all the community that makes Beacon and, of course, Star Citizen possible. So go give them some support. Shout them out. Check it out. Of course, we'll have the main commentary and all the camera angles and professional setup here, but give some support to those streamers who are putting it all on the line today. I know what that's like. I know very, very much so what it's like to be streaming and racing at the same time. It's stressful. There's a lot to think about. So please give them your support. Crucian, I mean, you've been here and done this. Of course, this is not your first event by any means. So what do you think's going through some of their minds right now? Is they're on the track right now, getting ready?
Yeah, I think everybody's ready to go. We have our countdown for the race to begin. This is absolutely going to be incredible. Today has been awesome. Our team set up incredibly. We have 15 seconds left. I'm going to count down for everybody on stream, but the race is going to begin here in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go, Splen. The race has begun, and they are out.
All right, now racers are going around the first bend, coming up to New Babbage. This is the long straight at the beginning of the race, and again, this is the opposite of the Babbage Bash, where these racers are going backwards up to the city center under the Metro Loop, and they're going to be basically just on the ice for a while here. We've got at least like a minute to 2 minutes of racing where these guys are going to be pushing full throttle. The braver hover bike racers will be getting the distance from the ground as low as possible. Oh, we've already got a KIA with Macandran. Unfortunately, from falling damage, he's out. But again, these racers are going to try to get low and fast as they can. That is the mechanic with hover bike racing, is to try to get as fast as possible when you're on the ice. But once they get over to those ice, to the snow drifts and to big mounds of land, over at the New Babbage City Center, they're going to want to get some height and get off the ground so they're not so close, because that does end up creating some pretty deadly situations, Crucian. Here they go under the first Metro Loop, heading down and under. Looks like everyone made it through okay, but we have some very close racing up front. Looks like we have 4 hover bikes right next to each other, battling it out for first place right now. Unbelievable. Very, very close. I mean, there's a lot of speed differential that can happen with the heights here, and there they are right on top of each other, Crucian.
All right, they're smacking into that iceberg. They need to be able to just be aware of their surroundings. Remember, Splend, something that we haven't mentioned is that they need to keep the levels of their HoverQuad. They need to be able to adjust it, because the HoverQuad, if you have it low, is going to go faster. But normally, those little ice stones that you see on the lake, if you clip those, you will hit those, and then you end up flipping over and blowing up. But remember, these other 3 people that DNF do have 2 other lives. So they'll be able to come back and push forward with the race and hopefully come back. I think, Star Citizen, to me, and in this alpha, is currently predictable. So I would say never give up, continue racing, because I think that they can come back. I mean, it's only just the beginning of the race. But so far, these teams are looking good. I saw RTD in the front, going right into the city of Microtech. But I believe sooner or later we should see daytime come up and hopefully make the race a little bit easier for our current races. But I think so far, whoever's in the lead right now, it seems like we don't have markers, are going to be able to, is doing a very good job of moving through these streets, Splend.
That's right. And one thing to keep in mind here, we do have, we got confirmation that is RTD up front. One thing to keep in mind here is that sometimes, we have somebody in chat, Kintroverted, saying 50%, bottom 50% sweating right now. You say that, but slow and steady does oftentimes win the race when it comes to ground racing and Star Citizen. You don't necessarily want to push it all to the limit, because there's a great chance you're not going to make it. I mean, there's just so much that could happen, not to mention, the physics in Star Citizen itself. The hover bikes being unpredictable, the terrain being unpredictable. It's okay to take it slow. I think we're going to see some shakeups here, with the racers. Just because we have somebody in front right now does not at all mean they're going to be first place crossing the line. We can see, obviously, there's some practice here. Taking these big jump here, it's unbelievable. It's such a huge risk. But again, we're going to see some surprises today, Crucian. I mean, that's just one of many we're going to be watching on the horizon.
I know. I'm not sure if it's decent, but it looks like RTD, if this is who we're following right now, are just bouncing off of trees. Okay, this is currently Herbie right now. I apologize for that, but man, jumping, he's using the terrain to his advantage, staying high, staying low, adjusting as Herbie is currently racing. But man, we are zooming. As the race goes on, you will start seeing placements at the top left of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are watching at home. So make sure you keep on that so you know who's in first, second, third, all the way down, and that will continue going. We do have an overview camera that we can take a look at that will show the entire race and currently our markers of where everybody is currently at. So big shout out to Planet there, doing a great job at putting this together for the Beacon 250 today, celebrating Beacon Events 2024.
Yeah, and you can see just going behind the overlay right now, Herbie and Gerbo right behind them. So our 2 teammates actually very close to the front. You can see our tracker on scr.gg's tracker on the left, very much reflecting this. So they are right now coming up to checkpoint 2. That's not necessarily a halfway point, a little bit before on this race, but that is up where I believe that is the Metro Loop depot where the trains start from. So that is up at the very far end of New Babbage, opposite of the spaceport. And we're about 5 minutes into this race. So, I mean, if they keep up that pace, they're looking at somewhere around a 10 to 15 minute lap, which is very, very good pacing for what they're doing. And you could see just from that overlay that they were pretty far ahead of everyone else. So the rest of these racers have their work cut out for them when it comes to catching. My favorites for today, of course, Herbie and Gerbo the Gnome.
Yep, and once we start taking that last turn, after checkpoint number 3, Splend, we're going to start to see come back into the city of Microtech, and this is the view. This is exactly what I was just about to talk about. Man. After you're passing through all of this, this is the view that you're getting going through the city, and it's absolutely incredible to see. This is one of my favorite cities. Every time you're quantum driving in and you're seeing it from the distance, even during Invictus Week, it's always incredible to see. I don't think it ever gets old for me, Splend.
Absolutely not. I mean, New Babbage is, of course, a favorite spawn point of mine, but also it's just a beautiful place to be. It is a very cool planet. I mean, of course, there's, a lot of people love Orison and it's Cloud City and it's pink and beautiful, but like, this is a terrestrial planet. It is a little bit Earth-like in like the boreal regard, I should say. And it's just got a lot to look at. And of course, this is one of the most impressive cities in Star Citizen as far as density and the performance goes. And it looks like, oh, this is Herbie's cam. Looks like Herbie has taken some damage. He might be stopping at the pit stop here at the end of lap number 1. You can see him slowing down visually a bit, but yeah, missing the back left and front right in the cells of that HoverQuad. So Gerbo's in first, but Herbie's in second place. These two teammates right on top of each other. You can see Herbie might have had to slow down here in order to not risk it at this point. When you start losing the nacelles on these hover bikes, you are putting yourself at greater risk of blowing up, because these nacelles quite literally, and even guns if you have like the Dragonfly, act as a buffer from hitting the ground and unexpected collisions with the geometry to keep you from blowing up. When you're starting to miss geometry, you become more and more at risk of not being able to survive the lap. So you can see Herbie here taking a wise step and slowing down, letting Gerbo take the front, and probably going to see our first pit stop out of Herbie once he gets close to the start finish there, Crucian.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and the reason why Herbie is slowing down right now, Splen, is because if you do die, the penalty of dying, it is going to be you will lose that lap. So if you're at checkpoint 5 or you're at checkpoint 4 and you're getting close to the finish line to complete that first lap, if you end up dying, you will lose that lap right now. So Herbie, took that penalty for going fast throughout the beginning of the match, but right now he has to completely slow down, allow Gerber the Gnome to take that lead and be able to kind of recuperate it in that pit lane and start the entire race fresh for lap number 2. But let's talk a little bit about these other people. We got RTD in third place. We got Satanik in fourth place. Darchinator in fifth, which honestly, he said he's been practicing. We got Meyer, Hannah B888 in seventh place. Dral Iskaldur is in 7th. We got Twilight Neoskris. I don't know why I'm having problems saying that one, but Verveen and Water Potato in 11th place. So we're starting to form this, the placements and lines, and I believe we're almost, I think we're about 70% into the first lap. It pretty much, like I just said, 70% into that first lap with Herbie and Gerbo. So we're looking around maybe around a 10 to 12 minute completion here for one lap for these teams. But I really love to see the momentum of RTD, Meyer, and the rest of these other community members and creators, because if Herbie has to pit Splen, he is going to lose a lot of time.
That's right. And just look at the separation here. We can see from the overhead cam, we've got Gerbo and Herbie basically a whole minute and change ahead of everyone else on the race right now. So again, with Herbie having to take the pit here, that speed comes at a cost. And like you said, this gives other racers and creators the opportunity to catch up. Will it make a difference? We'll see, because I have a feeling a lot of these racers and creators, even in the back line, have also probably taken some damage, or at least have been scared out of their seats with having, to race through the trees of New Babbage at night. Gerbo now coming up to almost at the pit stop, the last couple Metro Loop tracks, and getting ready to head back onto the ice. And I believe if this is Enigmatic's cam, yes, Enigmatic is staying here with Gerbo the Gnome, watching him just finish up the last few mountains and hills of the New Babbage City proper. And you could just see the ice coming up on the horizon there as he has to dodge down into these trees. Wow, that is a fast descent. I hope he survives this coming down that fast into the ice. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, he made it. Thankfully landing on that downslope. And that's a huge key when it comes to racing, is being able to actually use the ramps of the earth, of the terrain with the hover bikes. You have to plan your jumps and your landings in upslopes and downslopes. If you don't do that, you run a huge risk of bottoming out and colliding with the earth, and then that's it. That's your DNF. Speaking of these DNFs, we see a lot of DNFs at the bottom now. A lot more have been added. Some of the folks you talked about, Hannah and Darginate, are now also DNF'd, at least for lap number 1. Now keep in mind, these racers can come back. They have 3 lives, and when they do come back, they'll be restarting lap number 1. So it's basically restarting the whole race for these racers. And it looks like, wow, Gerbo is just passing the pit line and going straight to the start finish. So he's not stopping. He is confident enough in his racer's ability, and confident enough that he has not taken enough damage to merit it. So that's going to give Gerbo an enormous advantage over the other racers right now. Unbelievable to see how much separation we're going to see here, Crucian. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I know Gerbo's good, but this is just maddening right now.
I mean, even though we're saying that right now, Spine, all I'm going to tell you is that there's still 2 to 3 more laps to go, and anything in that moment could really happen and can really change the race for Gerbo, because like I mentioned before, if you're in lap number 2, you in checkpoint 5, you're going to lose an entire lap as a penalty for dying. So right now we have the rest of the teams respawning, getting back to the pit lane here in the commons, and they should be getting back into into the race here very soon. So looking forward to it. But there we go. Gerber the Gnome being the first person to get to lap 2 here with 10 minutes and 24 seconds so far. So let's see how lap 2 for Gerber the Gnome is going to look like today, Splen. But so far, looking like he has a very good stretch. And especially if he didn't pit, that means that he probably didn't take as much damage in lap number 1 as Herbie did, where he has to stop and continue to swap out his HoverQuad. But, I mean, we still have Twilink, Water Patat in 5th place, Vervine, Cyclone apparently in 2nd place. But I think the leaderboard is getting adjusted right now. But so far, the race is looking very, very great, Splen.
Yeah, and passing that start-finish line, that's your real checkpoint in this race, am I right? I mean, like, because at that point, that is the lap in which you start if you do... Oh, look at Herbie taking the sideways fall down. That is very, very smart in order to stop the longer geometry of the ship from colliding with the geometry. And there he goes heading to the pit lane. But yeah, as I was saying, like, getting past that start-finish line, that's your real checkpoint, because then you get to come back on the lap you just started if you were to crash or DNF. So that puts Gerbo at a big advantage enough. Yeah, we get to witness the first ever, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first ever pit stop in an ATMO esports race ever in the history of ATMO esports. Is that correct?
That is totally correct, Splen. You hit the nail on the head here. But let me tell you, the reason why we don't do respawns as much is because of the fact that, as the game develops, a lot of our rules is for, like, let's say for the Daymar Rally, for people to repair their vehicles before even, respawning or getting a new vehicle. And that's what we hope in the future. But for this event, because we know how, I would say this course has about a medium difficulty to it. We wanted to make sure that we make it at least fun for the competitors to be able to respawn and give the track another shot. But yes, the first time that anyone's pit lane, there goes Herbie back on track. But I'm pretty sure he's lost a lot of time doing that pit stops one.
Yeah, you could definitely see some racers getting ahead of him. We got Julia Cat ahead of Herbie right now, but that's just a very historic moment to watch there. And hopefully, we're all hoping in the future that when the repair by hand more or less comes more online. Right now, of course, we have hull repair with the multi-tool and the salvage tool. But we're hoping eventually we'll be able to take a hover bike like that and put those nacelles back on. Maybe remanufacture them, have some spare parts, and give some pit crews some jobs to do at the pit lane rather than just having to swap. We're all hoping for that gameplay loop, folks, and hopefully we'll get it soon, TM. But for now, just being able to swap or repair your ship in any way, shape, or form is pretty cool for a race. So there we go, Herbie taking advantage of that. Herbie not dying yet and finally getting to the big checkpoint here. This is the start-finish for lap number 2. So if Herbie were to DNF in lap 2, at least we get the start back here. We have Infirmus in chat saying, at what point is it optimal to launch the spiked blue shell? You can't say that, Infirmus. You're going to get Nintendo's lawyers coming after us with guns in hand. You can't say stuff like that, but anyway. There are some famous scramble races that involve guns in Star Citizen. However, this is not one of them. Because see, Herbie's lap time, even though with the damage and the repair, still only a little less than 3 minutes behind Gerbo the Gnome. And it looks like, if that is correct, is that still a 2nd place? I think those racers we saw getting to the start-finish line might have been people who DNF'd or getting back on. That's exactly what that was. Julia Cat was just starting. So Herbie still in 2nd place, despite all of that. With a 13-minute time, that just shows the separation between Gerbo Herbie and, of course, Gerbo Herbie and the rest of the racers right now, Crucian. We've got a camera here on Meyer, so we can watch our 3rd place and see how he's doing. Looks like we're getting to the end of lap 1 for Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer actually very impressive, doing very well today. And, I know Meyer is probably just taking it slow. I'm not going to say he's racing ATMO Esports. He's done a lot of things like Herson Hurtlocker, and a lot of other events. So he knows that going slow sometimes win the race, especially with the experience in playing, Star Citizen in an alpha state. But so far looking so good. Let's see if he's going to be doing a pit stop soon. But right here on the ice, on that last stretch, to be able to get into that first lap number 2, very impressed here with Meyer's skill to be able to push it. But remember, Gravlev is not as easy as it is. You have to adjust that HoverQuad. You have to adjust the height. You have to adjust, the length of it, because if not, you won't know how fast you're going, and you just need to be able to. Whoa! Don't! Jesus Christ, dude! I'm aware. I can't even. But a height adjustment on the HoverQuad is so important. Where is he going, my guy? The pit.
He might have lost control
over there. Oh no!
Oh no! Are we 30K?
No, what is going on right now? What is happening?
Oh, we've got confirmation from Corsair. I think this is a 30K, unfortunately.
Dude, this reminds me of ET right now.
Meyer, oh, he's dead.
There we go.
Meyer having a time of his life. Maybe it's not a 30K? Crashed a desktop?
Wow.
Okay, let's see. No. Okay, so
man.
it's not a 30K. Wow. Okay, so that was just Meyer crashing the desktop, and that's what the game does to you when you do so. It takes away your gravity, and then you're off into space. See you later.
That was one of the best sequences I've ever witnessed as a racer, but that was literally, oh man, that was absolutely incredible. But let's talk about Steel Mary. Steel Mary is an incredible prop painter. Does a lot of great job at painting some of the props that JRDF make and some of the vehicles. And Steel Mary is here already with a 14-minute lap number 1, which is incredible. Already starting lap number 2. But man, that's tough for Maya right there. He had a great 3rd place spot, and losing that now from Crash the Desktop, that was tough. It's funny because I'm going to go back really quick to this, Splen. In Hurston Hurtlocker, he was one of the last person standing. He was about to win, and he had the grenade launcher out, and he was shooting the last person, and he ended up crashing his desktop and losing the Hurston Hurtlocker finals. So that is tough. But yeah, let's get a replay of that. That was actually pretty. That's an ET moment right there. That's what I'm calling it right now. Literally, I mean, you're supposed to have the moon in the background, but having that cityscape there, love to see this replay. It's awesome. Anyways, Splen, go ahead and take that away.
Yeah, so I mean, unfortunate for Meyer because that means he's going to have to start lap 1 again. That's really going to hurt. We had saw Steel Mary had taken 3rd place position as Meyer was taking the pit. So Steel Mary now looking pretty good, favorite for 3rd place, and even might be able to sneak up on Herbie here and take that 2nd place. That's a good lap. You know, injuries or no, it didn't look like Steel Mary had to stop for the pit, so that could be risky for Steel Mary trying to catch that 2nd place position. Herbie, of course, with a very large multitude of experience, a curriculum vitae that is just off the page with how many races Herbie has participated in. So we're going to be seeing a lot there, probably getting rid of some of that time gap between himself and Gerbo. We're going to likely see 1st place and 2nd place get it closer together, especially if Gerbo has to go ahead and take the pit stop there. So, and then we have Gerbo the Gnome still in 1st place here with again, we saw that lap of 10:24, which is way under what I saw. And here's Herbie's back cam here. This is our 2nd place, and you can see him zooming with a nice fresh hover quad from the pit stop going through the tiny trees here at the first half of lap number 2, heading up toward the depot right now. So yeah, right now, if we can get the overhead cam here. Gerbo's dead. We've lost Gerbo the Gnome. Oh my goodness, that is an enormous. There it is. Yep, you called it, Crucian. Gerbo's out.
I told you.
We have no replay available, but unfortunately, yeah, that's the debris from Gerbo's crash. So that is one of Herbie and Gerbo's team out, making Herbie the new 1st place contender here for this. And again, I've said it before the race, Herbie's that slow and steady wins the race kind of guy, and here it is paying off in spades, taking that 1st place position right now. And that moves Steel Mary up to 2nd. So a big shakeup here for the start of lap number 2, Crucian. I mean, this is going to be, there's only a minute and a half between them. Anything can still happen. And we said this at the beginning, there's going to be some shakeups. There's going to be some surprises. I mean, what else do you think we have in store for today?
I'm telling you, man, I called it out. You need to be careful. That overconfidence and that lead is way out the window now. And again, I'm going to keep talking about it because the penalty of dying is losing that lap no matter how far you are in there. But because I feel like it's fair. If you die, you have extra lives, that lap should be restarted. But let's talk a little bit about how many people have died so far. You got Bauer, who's already died once. Cyclone died once. Darge died once. Gerbo now died once. Hannah, Julie Cat died once. We got Linkset, who died already 2 times, only 1 life left. We have Matt Kendron, who is already, he died once. We have RTD already died 2 times already. Satanik died once. We got Hugo Slar already died twice. Twilight, Vervine, Water Patat, and Yannick already died once. But I'm hoping that that these teams that are going out or dying, I hope that they take this as motivation to be able to be like, look, man, Gravelet is fun. It's hard, but I think I want to learn this a little bit more, especially with all the incredible Gravelet vehicles that are coming out, like the Mirai Pulse and the tracks that are currently happening in Arena Commander. I wish we had 3-2-3 so we could probably do this in an Arena Commander scenario, but so far, a lot of DNFs in this one, Splen.
That's right. And it goes to show that knowledge is power when it comes to racing. With the state of racing in Star Citizen right now, the know-how of how these vehicles react on the tracks, how they react with the terrain, this is why you're going to see people like Herbie, who, won the System 7 last year, contending great in System 7 this year. You see him on top because, again, putting in the time, it really does pay off. You get what you put in when it comes to Star Citizen racing, and this is one of our most dedicated racers, longtime racer in Star Citizen, knows the up and downs. You can see that the pacing here is not eye-watering. Watching Herbie now going through these trees, like the pacing is moderate. You want to be able to control yourself and pace yourself because, again, a DNF gets you nowhere, folks. You want to be able to know what to do in case of getting damaged, how to avoid getting damaged, and that is your key to survival in ground racing. And I can say this from experience. A little bit of disclosure here, I did participate in the System 7 last year. Team Splen, myself, Took, Dollar Store, and Lothaber, and it was absolutely brutal. I got destroyed in the first race, losing some tires to a collision in the Snake Pit race, and man, that really set the stage for me and the rest of the year with System 7. It is not like ship racing. There's a lot to think about when it comes to keeping intact. With ship racing, it's a little more about speed, a little more about how much you could push it to the limit. The sky is literally the limit, but you got no sky here. You're on the ground. The terrain is your enemy. You have to know exactly what to do. And here we are looking at the updated standings. We've got Herbie now in first, Steel Mary in second, Admiral in third place, Drawl in fourth, PB Route in two. I'm sure I did not say that right. And Neos Chris in sixth place, and Gerbo is tentatively in seventh place. Despite the DNF, we're going to see what happens if he can get back on track and maybe make up some of that lost time. Spoiler alert, I have a feeling he's going to be able to do it. But Crucian, yeah, like how are we looking with the rest of these racers? We got people like Meyer and Twilink now, Water Potate, still haven't been able to finish up that lap one. Do they have a chance here still, do you think?
I think they all still have a chance here, Splend. I think it's I think no matter what, it's still everybody's race to win, especially with only dying once. You still have 2 lives left. I think once you get that life and you come back into the race, you'll have that experience about where to take it easy. The biggest thing in this race, and what makes it that medium difficulty, that I don't even think it's hard difficulty, it's the trees. It's the trees. Because at that point, right, obviously we're in a Star Citizen Alpha, so these trees normally have, I would say, an area that may be decent. Maybe you clip it. That's where we saw Herbie missing, that front left and that back right part of the HoverQuad. So you need to be able to slow down, take it easy, and get where you're going, just like what just happened here in Herbie's POV. But let's go over to we have a replay of the jump that Herbie did earlier in lap number 1 to be able to use the terrain to skip over some of these trees. So let's take a look at that really quick. So here he goes. Wow. Big jump here, Splen. Using the terrain or the earth, as you say, in a very smart way, able to dodge those trees, because that is going to be your biggest obstacle coming into the Beacon 250 here in today's race. So very, very awesome jump here.
It's the upslopes and the downslopes, like I said, being able to take that jump like you sort of would in a real motocross bike, like you're sort of doing a Baja race or something where you want to be able to plan your jumps to land on the downslope, because that displaces the gravity. So all the force, the Newtonian force there, doesn't come up to directly under your bike. You are displacing it and riding some of that gravity down and using your thrusters and the downward motion of gravity to not be able to take all of that brute force right into the center mass of your ship. That's what you don't want to do, right? So, a lot of these more experienced hoverbike racers, you're going to see them planning their jumps like that. You're going to see them go sideways down some of these hills to avoid having the longer portions of the geometry clip the terrain. Kind of like how you would if you were going down a hill on like a skateboard or something, like you go back and forth. You want to use that to not only slow yourself down, but to keep the longer parts of the geometry from knocking you off your balance. And here we go, Herbie in first place now, not pit stopping this time, skipping it, going straight to the start finish here. Going to be putting a lot of time and a lot of gap on the track. Steel Mary, we're going to see how far behind Steel Mary is compared to Herbie and see how that gap has grown or shrunk. But I have a feeling here Herbie is looking like a good favorite starting lap number 3 here to take it all home. That would be fitting, wouldn't it? Herbie again taking it home in first place. But again, let's not speak too soon. Anything could still happen. We just saw what happened to Gerbo the Gnome. Anything could happen here, folks. We have a lot of race left. I mean, these are big laps. There's a lot of obstacles. It looks like we're also getting some sunlight here, so we're going to have some perfect views for lap number 3. So it's going to be beautiful here, Crucian. Look, wow, look at that awesome camera, them coming around that bend there for the start finish. Unbelievable views. And again, huge shout out to the camera crew at ATMO Esports for putting this together once again for us so we can have this wonderful show to sit here and talk about with you folks. So, Crucian, take it away here with our status report for the start of lap number 3.
Well, we're jumping in here, but let's talk about some of the races that are back in action. We have Neoskris Yannick on Julie Cat back in action here in the race, starting that lap number 2. So incredible to see them come back in and take advantage of those lives. But it seems like we also have another death here with Hugo Siffy X. I believe he is out of his 3 lives, unfortunately. So he probably will not be able to continue on. So, but we have some other teams that like Darginator, and we have Linksit who are currently, unfortunately finding some tough luck in the track. I mean, hey, we put out the track a while ago, so it's all about wanting to practice this track. It's not as easy as it looks. Like I said, in that medium difficulty, you need to be able to be careful with those trees. And like I said, the height adjustment under HoverQuad Splen, especially on the ice, when you clip any of those little icebergs, that is also something that you need to be aware, because the lower you are, the faster you go. But unfortunately, you need to be careful with the terrain in Star Citizen as a whole, because you never know how big, how in reality, how big that object is in game or not. So, but so far, a lot of great racing. It's looking like we're probably going to see our first finisher here within Herbie if nothing happens in this lap number 3 today, Splen.
Yeah, it looks like Herbie having to pass some back markers there now. This is the curse of being in first place and being that much better than the competition. Now Herbie has to worry about collisions with other racers in order to keep that momentum going. You have other things in your mind now. This is where the penguins start to crowd your iceberg. You got to keep track of them all at once, and it starts to really weigh on a racer, especially in a big endurance race like this one. This is long, folks. You can see the lap 3 timer there for Herbie is 25 minutes. That is a lot of white knuckle. Herbie has not had a break. Maybe just a little break in the pit stop, but has not DNF'd at all. Master class here in how to stay alive and look good doing it. So the separation now, we do have a lap time for Steel Mary coming into lap number 3, a 10-minute gap between the two of them. Unreal right now. So that is, Herbie's looking pretty good, really putting in the speed and giving himself a lot of what I like to call, and of course everyone's going to roll their eyes, this is what the Splend term leadership economy that Herbie gets to spend right now. And if you know that, you could spend it wisely, right? If you know that you're 10 minutes ahead of your competition, you got something spotting for you. That's right. Well, I mean, everyone else thinks he needs to hug a tree, but Herbie here, if he has that leadership economy to spend, you can start slowing down a bit. You have that sort of momentum. You have a lot of gap that you can use. You start to spend it by slowing down, taking your things a little more carefully, knowing that you have it pretty much in the bag. So you start to slow down a bit. And it looks like we got a P. Prout is now in second place ahead of Steel Mary with a 5-minute gap. Steel Mary might have gotten damaged there in lap number 2 and had to slow down. So only a 5-minute gap between P. Prout and Herbie here right now. So that's interesting development here. Steel Mary back in third place again. Will they be able to hold on and take away one of the podium spots? It's been looking good for most of the race, but again, anything can happen. We got a lot of racers on top of each other still. And Crucian, it looks like we're watching, this is Papa Freedom's camera, I think, chasing Herbie. Going there, and we can see on the map Herbie is about at the halfway point. Yeah, Papa Freedom right on Herbie, getting up to the checkpoint 2, going around the depot up there. We have Gerbo right behind, but remember now, Gerbo is a lap behind. So that was the back marker for Herbie. Herbie having to lap his own teammate in lap number 3 here. So interesting developments, Crucian, as we are finishing up the last lap here, maybe the last lap of the Beacon 250.
Well, that would be just for Herbie here, but you see Admiral Loken on the screen. Is he going like off? I'm trying to figure out where Admiral Loken is going. Is he just going on maybe a scenic tour of Microtech? Maybe this is just party desync or so. But let's see what happens, man. I think the rest of the teams are doing great. I believe we saw another death with Darginator there. But we also have Julie Cat died 3 times as well. But you know what? Like I said, one of these courses are not easy. If you don't really grab lev as much in the game and you don't understand the mechanics, it can be tough, especially when racing. A lot of currently with the flight mechanics, a lot of people race, using dual sticks, mouse and keyboard. To me, it takes a little bit more practice to kind of get used to how these hover bikes end up drifting as as you kind of lower yourself and have that fast speed. But great to see that everybody is hopefully out there having a great time, having fun, and hopefully enjoying the race. But man, this is tough, man. It's funny because these trees weren't here last patch, but they're here now. So it's making it a bit challenging for the racers today, Splend.
Yep, you always got to watch out patch between patch if your racetrack has changed. It's something we've all had to deal with since the beginning. The game is constantly evolving. It's an alpha. They are developing it, so that means your racetracks will sometimes get developed over it. Not to mention the major flight model changes coming in 3.23, changing it for pretty much everything. But all that aside, it looks like we do have another 3 strikes and you're out. For unfortunate, Juliet Cat is out of the race with the 3rd strike there. Unfortunate for Julia Cat. But we do have the rest of the racers still at least have a chance here. We have Papa Freedom here deftly getting really close to these trees and chasing Herbie down. Looks like we are just getting to about the 60 to 70% point in lap number 3 for Herbie. But Steel Mary still in 2nd place. If our standings are correct over there, I'm assuming they are. Drawl in 3rd and Peaprot in 4th. So we do have some of the similar names up there as we had before. We don't have... Wow, where did he go? Gerbo, okay, in 8th place there. And again, still just had to redo the entirety of lap number 2. So a bit behind. And I don't know if those standings are 100% accurate once again, but we'll get the final results for you, of course, at the end of the race to make sure everything is good. So yeah, and just like we're talking about in chat now, desync, random explosions, everything can go against you. And not only in ground racing and Star Citizen, but ship racing as well. You have to be ready for it. These are volatile live servers with hundreds of people on them at a time. A lot can go wrong. You hit a lag spike and boom, guess what? You're 30 meters to your right of where you thought you were and you're in a pile of trees. Being able to quickly adapt and overcome is the hallmark of some of the best racers in this game. Herbie, of course, among them. So again, knowledge is power. The time you put into the game is gonna determine how well you perform in the game as a racer, not only as a racer, but pretty much in every field in Star Citizen. Because again, learning curve is a bit steep. That's just because the game itself is very, very punishing when things go wrong. It looks like we've got Gerbo here now catching up to Herbie. And again, but you take that with a grain of salt, of course, that is a lap behind. But interesting to see that Herbie might be slowing down. Again, maybe spending that leadership economy, but also maybe got damaged again. We may be able to get a close-up on Herbie and see what the situation is. But Herbie, I'm sure, not sweating it, knowing, of course, what the gap is. And it looks like he's just fine. Letting Gerbo the Gnome have that feeling of being in front once again. As he pulls in front of his teammate there. So again, are my favorites for the race. Looking good to take home the 1st place, but it's not over yet. Herbie still has about 30% of the race to go through, just getting down to the ice here. Not quite for lap number 3. And Crucian, it looks like we've got a few more DNFs, so take it away. Oh, man.
Yep, it's going to be a little bit tough here, but, we've already had a few of the teams lose a lot of their lives. But, I want to talk about some of these people that are still currently racing and understanding the current mechanics that, hey, I think going slow is going to be the best solution for me to hopefully finish this race. So we got Hannah in 3rd place. We got Dral Iskadur and P. Proud and Yannick. And in 7th place, Sukana. I think a lot of people are understanding, hey, go slow here. Let's take it one by one. But again, so many trees is not going to be as easy as you think. But there we goes. We got Loken Plays also dying. 3 lives are up. This course is a tough one. It's something that you definitely need to practice. There are enough, I think, indicators in the race for you to be able to understand where you're going, because we have not only 5 box missions showing all of the checkpoints, but you also have you have the cargo crates that are scattered throughout the course to tell you if you're going in the wrong direction or not. So, it's kind of all like a lot of the times when we have some of the top races, especially for System 7, they go through the terrain, they fly through it, they understand the lines, what's the best pattern to take, what's the best path to be able to pass through these trees. Is it going further out? Is it going in the inside closer to the buildings? It's all a strategic plan in your head and being able to memorize that as you're racing around the course. So, again, a medium difficulty challenge, and maybe a little bit harder for some of these people that are racing probably for the first time. But again, the servers do kind of prevent a little bit of that, which if you're desyncing or you're blowing up randomly, there's just a lot of factors here. But so far, it seems like some of these teams are finding success, and I believe we're going to be seeing a finish here with Herbie here very, very soon, Splend.
Yeah, and we see Herbie actually having to lap Gerbil the Gnome once again, getting back in the front here. Not sure what the situation is between the two of them, but Steel Mary looks like back in 2nd place, really now. So we're getting the standings updated now. We've got about 6, it looks like 6.5 minutes between Herbie and Steel Mary here. So interesting. Steel Mary now starting lap number 3, looking like a favorite for second place. And we still have to get Gerbo through the entirety of lap number 2 to be able to, I'm not sure these standings are 100%, but we'll see what the final results are. But Herbie looking intact here and getting down to the ice. It's pretty much the final stretch at this point. And if anyone can do it, it's Herbie. So it's looking like it's pretty much in the bag for him at this point. But again, we still have second place and third place up for very strong contention. We have a lot closer of a gap between those racers back there. So we'll be watching the exciting race unfold for these last couple of podium finishers. And then, of course, we will be cheering the rest of the racers on as they finish up Beacon 250 here. But yeah, it's been pretty much what we expected. A lot of shakeups, a lot of surprises, twists and turns. But, Herbie, with his vast experience, able to still keep it together long enough to be able to take that first place. Look at that sideways descent. Very, very smart going down that hill to minimize the point of collision to keep that geometry from going beneath the ice. And say goodbye to the pit. Yep, he looks over and waves goodbye to the pit stop as he passes right by, heading on down to the start-finish for the final time. So there we go. Looks like we got Meyer back on track too, so we'll see what happens there. Again, I don't know where the standings are, but Meyer has taken only 1 DNF so far, so still in the race strong. But Herbie here now getting down past the Metro Loop. This is a long 14-kilometer stretch from the city to the spaceport here where that start-finish is. A beautiful sunrise here at Microtech with the clouds and all. It just looks wonderful. He'll be able to knock back a couple beers and double dogs and enjoy his hard-fought victory. Again, just a masterclass. Pleasure to watch Herbie dominate this course and make it look easy, even though, from experience, I can say that was absolutely terrifying, death-defying, a wonderful, wonderful sight to behold. And there he goes, crossing the finish line, our first place. Herbie, with 37 minutes and 1 second, crossing the finish line, just over a half hour of white-knuckle grabbing that. Unbelievable. So yeah, we do have confirmation that Herbie has won. We'll be getting more confirmations later. And Crucian, what do you think? I mean, is this what we expected? We did see the twists and turns. Could it have been worse than this? I feel like it's been all right.
I mean, like I said, there's so many factors in order to play, that plays into racing. Again, that's why that's why even though we call ourselves ATMO Esports, I don't mention that this is an esports environment. And right now, the game being an alpha doesn't have any competitive integrity. So we understand that more than anybody else that can ever mention or tell us that at all. But I mean, so far, Herbie, great job. First finisher of the day, an incredible European racer. So congratulations to him on this incredible finish. But here we go. Meyer is back on track after that crash at desktop. And he was in second after a while until that crash. So, but like I said, make sure you have that height adjustment because he just bumped into that and that could have been his life there. But let's talk about why we're here, Splen. This is the Beacon 250, a celebration about Beacon events. We got the Beacon 2024 coming up next weekend. If you guys type !Beacon in chat, BEACON, you will find all the information you need. If you're in the surrounding countries around the Belgium, or you're in Belgium, or wherever you at in Europe, if you want to come and spend some time not only with the StarCitizen community, but doing a lot of other activities, a lot of other things such as, like Fran mentioned, my favorite thing so far, lightsaber training. Make sure you guys get the information about the Beacon Events 2024 and come out, show your support not only for Beacon but for the StarCitizen community as well. I'm looking forward to seeing all you there. I'll be flying all the way to Belgium from the US, so I'll be there to hopefully celebrate with everybody there. But look at this so far. I wonder if Meyer is going to be able to kind of hopefully come back and maybe take a top 3 spot. I think anything is possible at this time, Splen. But congratulations to Herbie so far.
Yeah, I mean, we have yet to see exactly what the final standings are going to be. I'm sure it has been absolutely a very Herculean task for our trackers to be able to keep track of all the DNFs and getting back on the track, which, again, something very unique to this race is that we are giving the lives, we're getting the pit stops, so it does add to the complexity of what we're seeing here today, so we might be surprised by some of the results at the end. But again, anyone's game, like you said, second place and third place still open. We do have Gerbil the Gnome now getting ready to finish up that lap. We could see him there passing the pit stop now. So again, that was our first place for the better half of lap number 1 and going into lap number 2 until DNFing in the middle of lap number 2 and having to repeat that lap. So we'll see where Gerbo lands with the standings, and that is the second half of Herbie's team. So again, having already secured a first place position, could they secure also one of the podium spots below? Well, remains to be seen. So we got our overhead camera here showing just how much more visibility we get when it's daylight, right? It is, not to overuse the term, it's quite literally night and day. Not only for our camera people and the people watching, but for the racers themselves. There's a lot more happening. There's Gerbo crossing the line there. We can see him swinging around. Wow, he really did not waste any time swinging around that start finish there. Beautiful camera shot of Gerbo starting up. I'm guessing that's lap number 3 then. And so here we got Papa Freedom. I think, are we still chasing Meyer here? Not sure. Going up around the hills here. That is Darginator. So we're chasing Darginator here. Darginator, don't know what the place is exactly. We're pretty far behind, I think. Might have had some problems in lap number 1. So hopefully we'll see some pickup of positions here. Maybe now that the racers are getting used to the track, they're getting used to the hover bikes, or they're able to see a little better. We might see some last-minute shakeups here that might surprise us, Crucian.
I mean, we still have Steel Mary, right? Taking right in that second place, and you got P Proud in that third place spot. I think Gerber the Gnome right now is trying to hopefully come back and try to get that spot, but I feel like Steel Mary, P Proud, they are already so far into that lap number 3, and they're already getting used to the pace that they're going, Splen. So I don't know if Gerbo can. I don't know if Gerbo's going to be able to come back and hopefully catch up to them, because they should be, I would say, a little bit more than halfway, around 60 to 70% already finished with the race. And I'm hoping that we are able to. No, Drali Skaldur, no, going out, taking some fall damage.
Oh my goodness,
that is tough, right in that 4th place spot. But I hope that Steel Mary and P Proud can hopefully continue the race and hopefully get that 2nd and 3rd place finish, so we can present some of these trophies in person at Beacon Events 2024. But so far, just keep up the pace. That's all I'm going to say. Keep up the pace. Stay safe. And I know for a lot of the other, creators and community members that were racing, like I said, the difficulty of this course is because of all these trees, man. It's not as easy, but also we have to deal with the game mechanics and the desync and all that good stuff. But I really want to say to each and every creator and community member, thank you so much for coming out and racing with us today. Maybe that gives them a little bit of that fire in them, Splen, so they can come out and hopefully race a little bit more. Be a part of the Day Morale. Be a part of some of the events that are thrown by XGR or the Anzia community. Maybe because we don't speak French, but hey, we recently have one of our members that do speak French, so we have a translator. So we're always happy to accommodate all of our international communities for Star Citizen. If you want to race in our events, it's not only for English speakers, it's for everybody to participate, have a good time, and have something more to do in game than cargo running. That was a joke.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm sure it'll go over well. But yeah, to iterate on your point there, if you think the language barrier is stopping you from getting into racing, don't let it. Like Crucian said, ATMO is accommodating. Of course, over at XGR, we have Luigi, who speaks 4 different languages and does a lot of our translating in real time as we are putting the races together. So don't ever hesitate to join us just because you don't speak English. Get in the scene. If you want to have some of the most adrenaline-pumping fun of your life, believe me, nothing compares to it. And here we are watching Steel Mary. Now, I have to point out here, what a difference between Steel Mary and Herbie. Steel Mary taking these bumps, going up in the air, missing some front geometry. It is a wild ride. Gotta be sweating down there. If they know they're in 2nd place and every single bump could mean certain death, missing some engines off the bottom of the hovercraft, this is going to be a wild finish for Steel Mary if they can hold it together. But man, you could just tell that not expecting some of these bumps, not expecting some of these obstacles, and having to kind of take it, just wing it. Go through it and try to get through it. So, but keeping it together here, maybe by skill, maybe by sheer luck, doesn't matter. We're in 2nd place. We got to hold it together. Here's the last adrenaline pumping half of lap number 3 for Steel Mary, and P Proud in 3rd place, not too far behind. Anything could happen, especially if Steel Mary keeps losing geometry off of the ship to some of these obstacles. So again, we're looking to see a very exciting 2nd and 3rd place finish here. I think we're still on. We are exactly. It's hard to tell without seeing, the checkpoint boxes or anything like that. But it's a wall of trees, and I believe this is about 60% through the course where it gets really bad. And you mentioned this earlier. Of course, these forests up here at the upper portion of the track, the higher elevations. Oh, we're spinning out of control. Will we make it out? Look, you can see some smoke coming off the back of that ship now. Enigmatic getting real close here for that shot. Oh, lots of damage. We're coming down too fast.
No.
Oh, are we gonna make it?
No.
Okay, maybe we'll be okay. maybe we're not soft death. If Steel Mary is soft death, that is it. You are in trouble. You might have to just take the bitter pill, take the suicide, and try to get back on track. But this is an enormous change of events here for second place. Let's take it. Let's see the replay. Geez, I mean, this is unreal. Look at this. Again, if you're not expecting the bump, not taking that down slope, watch what happens. Straight down. You can see the smoke trail. Boom. Center of mass into the ground. Your ship is soft death. You are out. Unbelievable.
That is why you see Herbie turning to make sure that he balances out his grav lev and understands the mechanics. And that way, when you land on the ground, is not as hard, is not as tough as what just happened. So that's why you see Herbie sometimes being able to take that turn after a larger jump so he can actually balance out and slow-mo down to that terrain. But, man, that is a tough one. I mean, Steel Mary, Soft Death, they can still run if they can to the pit stop, grab it, and still, because they haven't respawned. So they are still able to make this second place spot because they are not fully dead themselves. So let's see if Steel Mary has that thought to be able to run hopefully to the pit lane and get a new vehicle and hopefully finish the race in the second place spot. But that is going to leave P Proud to hopefully get ahead and hopefully right there, just past Steel Mary, hopefully getting that second place spot. You still have Yannick, who's in his second lap still, RTD in his second lap still, and Linksit still trying in that second lap as well in the race so far. This is an insane turn of events right now, but I mean, I'm going to have to take and say that this track, because of the complexity of it, maybe it's a hard difficulty track, for most of us, Glenn.
Yeah, and looks like we might have lost P-Prod there, getting lost in the trees. There they go. Okay, so again, if Steel Mary can get off the bike and run and even just take a third place spot, that would be an absolutely legendary finish. It might actually be possible. It looks like there is a serious gap between third place and fourth place. It might be possible for Steel Mary to pull that off, but you have to wonder, would it be faster for Steel Mary to just respawn and grab a ship? Don't know where they are exactly on the track. Looks like they were about 70% you'd say? Through the track.
Yes.
So, wow.
Yes, but I don't think so, because remember, if they end up respawning, they're going to have to restart that final lap, and that's not something that is going to... I mean, Gerbil died as well, and still hasn't started his third lap. So, I mean, it's either a pull or a give, but I think that Steel Mary, being, I would say, maybe around 30 to 50 kilometers away from the pit lane, I would be running that no problem. Or I would find a way to get into the city and just ride to the pit lane and finish, because I'm still alive. I'm still in my lap,
Take the bus!
Use the city as your terrain. Take the bus. Take that Greyhound and find a way to get to the pit lane and hopefully finish in that spot, in that third place, man. But that would be absolutely incredible to see, who's going to finish next here, Splend, because it's all up in the air.
P-Proud probably, but we're watching right now to see what happens. And by the way, big shout out to Logan Plays and Hugo for the huge raids. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. This is the Beacon 250 here, hosted by ATMO Esports, and we are watching the final podium fight of second and third place. We have Herbie taking first. Herbie, a longtime racer in Star Citizen and the winner of the System 7 last year. And now we've got second and third up for grabs. We don't know what's going to happen. We just had an enormous shakeup for second place. With Steel Mary taking a bad tumble, soft deathing the ship. Will Steel Mary be able to run to the finish line? We don't know, but here's P-Proud getting a little bit caught up by these trees here, looking like a favorite for second place, but has to survive. And again, this is the big problem of the race. We're in the back half of lap number 3. The back half of this course is covered in trees and downhill slopes, extremely dangerous for the HoverQuad. Any hover ship in general, actually, is going to have a lot of trouble being able to traverse this terrain. It's already a problem. We've seen it with the Babbage Bash, twice over at least. With how rough this can be on ships, especially hover bikes, when they're trying to go through this terrain. You need to slow down, you need to raise your height, you need to know what you're doing. Herbie showed us a master class of how to maneuver the ship and keep your pacing while being able to plan your jumps and be able to turn and drift into your descents, taking a wide stance, as he said himself in chat, to be able to land properly and not take damage, even though he did have to pit in lap number 1. So even the best racers, you have to be aware of where your ship's sitting as far as damage and being able to make those decisions. Is it worth taking a pit stop? Herbie did so and won first place. Now, for second place here, we have P-Prout taking it a little bit slower now, maybe aware of the leadership economy he now has over Steel Mary, because Steel Mary is, you know, for all intents and purposes, DNF'd. Maybe has a chance of running and taking that third place spot if we're able to sprint down to those ships. In fact, do we have any word on what's happening there? Any of our officials, do we have any word on what Steel Mary's decided to do? We would love to be updated on that so we can update the crowd here. But yeah, here's P-Prout now going through these trees, and we're about 60 to 70% through lap number 3 now. We're going to see what happens here. We just passed the depot, going back down to the ice, and what a difference here between night and day, quite literally, you know, being able to see and being able to maneuver. We've seen a lot less DNFs, but I have to say, there's a lot more people who had 3 strikes and out right now. So Crucian, what are your thoughts? Do you have an update for us on that?
Yeah, right now it's looking tough. Apparently, we have a lot of deaths throughout the race, and if everybody does end up dying, we will go to the distance of where that person has completed the lap in order to tell second or third place if we don't get those finishes. But if, like you mentioned, if I was P-Proud, I would be taking this as slow as possible, because until I get to that ice, I am not, how would I say it? I am not secured on my, you know, on my time, because anything could happen. You can clip one of those trees and you're out for the count. But one thing that I will say here at ATMO Esports too, if you guys are looking to help evolve yourself and help be a part of the bigger racing community, and you guys are, you know, you guys want to help and help, you know, create and understand some of these races, you are more than welcome to join us over at discord.gg/ATMO Esports and come be a part of the racing community. Come be a part of what we're doing here, and hopefully growing this competitive scene to a higher level, especially when, you know, we have some incredible things coming on the horizon this year, Splin. You know, I want to talk a little bit about, we have server meshing. We have hopefully these server stability, so, you know, that desync is not happening anymore, and it's all about ping now. But I'm hoping to see a lot more improvement by next year in order to, you know, to have a better feel about how competitive not only the racing scene, but dogfighting scene, you know, mining scene, whatever it is that we want to do in game, can hopefully, you know, have a better result for us, and we don't have to worry about these uncertainties in the StarCitizen Alpha. So, but so far, everything's looking good. I'm very excited to see. I think P-Proud is very close to getting to the ice here, a little bit past already where Steel Mary was. So let's see if P-Proud can do the unimaginable and get that second place spot here in today's Beacon 250.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's looking good. We did have an official DNF for Steel Mary, so I assume that means that we are going to be, you know, seeing Steel Mary get back on track. And this is our third place right now. This is Hannah coming around the bend here. So that is our new third place favorite here, unless Steel Mary is able to pull off a miracle. So Hannah already on lap number 3 and coming around the bend here to finish it up. But yeah, to kind of to solidify your point there, again, you know, this is, we don't know what the future holds for Star Citizen. All we know is it's going to be a very exciting year for us. And like we always say, and like it says in Jared's Inside Star Citizenship, the only constant is change. You know, we need to be ready for what the future holds. Hopefully we'll get some more opportunities in Arena Commander. Hopefully server meshing and the replication layer will allow things to be a little more smooth for us. But again, you know, when you've got 100 people all racing in the same place, anything can still happen. You know, we have to kind of at least run under the assumption that it's still going to be a very challenging esport for everyone to participate in. But if you're up for the challenge and want to have the most fun you've ever had in a video game in your life, you have to believe me, folks. It is unbelievably just an experience you'll never forget. If you really take the dive and want to learn how to be a Star Citizen racer, it's some of the most challenging and rewarding stuff you'll ever see. And there we have Gerbo, looks like finishing up lap number 3, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure where Gerbo is as far as the standings right now. If that were the case, that would be second place, but I think maybe we're another lap behind. Finishing lap 2, so Gerbo's had some trouble.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yep. So yeah, a lot more behind than I thought. Unfortunate for Gerbo. But yeah, so that means again we have P-Proud and then Hannah as our third place. Our standings aren't quite 100% here because, you know, this is a very strange format of the race with the extra lives and respawning. Not something that we usually do on any racing event. So this is interesting to watch. But again, we'll have the final standings for you, and of course, we'll keep you updated here vocally as much as we can. So here's our shot from Papa Freedom chasing down P-Proud, coming down the final stretch of lap number 3, looking like our favorite for second place. Oh, you got to watch these big jumps. It looks like he's going to safely hit a downslope there, and that was a pretty safe one for P-Proud. Very good slowing down. You don't want to slow down too much. You want to let the gravity kind of roll with the velocity vector of the ship, right? You want to put that velocity vector down the hill with you so you absorb some of that gravity. You don't hit center mass. Looks like P-Proud did that well enough to survive that jump, and of course, survive long enough here to be able to be the favorite for second place. Hannah will be coming in behind, not too far behind. We saw them about, I believe, closer to the halfway mark of lap number 3 or somewhere behind it. So, still quite a bit of distance between. Anything can still happen. We might see a shakeup again here for third place if P-Proud's able to hold it together and get the second place. But I did Caster's Curse Steel Mary last time. I'm not going to say too much more. I'm just going to pass it over to Crucian because apparently I'm bad luck today. Crucian, where do we stand here with our remaining racers?
Hey, I don't think it's bad luck for you. We've had so many things happen. We've seen, one of the HoverQuads take on one of, Meyer's HoverQuad just take off into the air, something that I thought was hilarious. But yeah, let's give a quick update here. We got Bauer already. Unfortunately, 3 lives are gone. Dargenator, three lives are gone. Julie Cat, Loken, 3 lives are gone. So, I mean, I guess a harder course, but also I don't think it's a harder course. I think just Gravlev is just because, remember, we don't have those shields anymore, Splend. So if they're bumping into something, they're going to be exploding. So, I'm not sure if they're ever going to put shields back on it. Probably not because, they're Gravlev vehicles. But yeah, man, it's some type of, some type of toughness is needed because any little clip and these HoverQuads are losing control and then exploding. But as I said, as we get those better performance in the future with server meshing, we shouldn't be able to see this much, I would say, damage or this much people going out of the race so early on. So it's crazy because it could be where people are playing the game from. A lot of people are from France, UK. You got some people in the I think one or two in the US as well. So it all just comes down to how the servers treating these vehicles right now. But a lot of teams right now that still have some lives. We're going to talk a little bit about Sakuna with 2 lives left, Twilink with 2 lives left, Waterpatat and Yannick, and I think Yannick actually forfeited his 3 lives already. And then you got Gerber the Gnome, who has also only 1 life left. So it's going to come down most likely to who has gotten out the furthest for this possible 3rd place spot. It could be, but right now it seems like Hannah is in a good place to take that 3rd place spot if they can keep up the pace that they're keeping up now. But so far, P-Proud doing a great job at keeping I guess keeping it steady, trying to, stay away from these trees as much as possible for that 2nd place trophy that is currently at risk right now.
Yeah. And Yannick jumping in chat right now with the DNF. Sorry, Yannick, congratulations on participating in racing. And thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody from Yannick's stream. So yeah, we've got, here, we'll break it down like this. This is some good data correlation. There are 2 racers in this race who have not had any DNFs. And they are our 1st place and 2nd place racers. That just goes to show you just how devastating it could be to have a DNF. Nothing is worse than a DNF, folks. Don't get a DNF. I mean, once you get that DNF, especially in a race that is this long, where you're talking about 10-minute laps, you are behind immeasurably. You saw what happened to Gerbo the Gnome with 2 DNFs. Now not even anywhere near the podium. Was our 1st place favorite for the longest time. Here comes P-Prout now with the final stretch, taking it nice and high. You can see taking that high. So high, going down the ice, knowing that leadership economy is there to spend, not taking any chances whatsoever to run into the final for 2nd place. And it looks like we have a little bit of a shakeup. Not sure if Hannah's still in 3rd place. We have links it on the map as 3rd place. We'll get an update from our officials as soon as we can. But at the very least here, we know P-Prout, as long as nothing insane happens in the last 1 minute of this race, for him, is going to be able to fall into 2nd place here for the Beacon 250. And here we go. We'll just watch it.
Yep, everybody give some love and hype in the chat for P-Proud, who's going to be coming here in 2nd place. I don't want to jinx it, but make sure you guys show P-Proud some love in the chat. This is actually awesome. Love to see it here. Make sure you guys are supporting your favorite creator or community member that's possibly still racing, because a lot of them are been out for the count for a while. But also got a little bit of an official's note that some of the elevators were broken, so that's why it took some longer than normal to get back on the track. So still having the elevator problems, but hey, man, it's all good. Again, I hope everybody that came on today had a great time, had fun. P-Proud catching up some speed here. All you need to do is get past that finish line, and 2nd place is yours for the taking.
That's right. And Enigmatic, hopefully not going to hit any geometry here, doing this big drift around the start finish, watching P-Proud for us. But yeah, here they come. We got the cam switch over here to Foxy's cam, going around the bend there, and there's P-Proud with our second place finish. Congratulations, P-Proud. Wow.
Let's go.
Beautiful finish. A big climb up the charts, by the way. We're talking a big, big climb from some of the lower tiers all the way up to second place, taking home that trophy for Beacon. So congratulations. And for Herbie and P-Proud, if you're making it to Beacon, you'll be able to receive your trophy at a ceremony in person, which is going to be a very rare event for Star Citizen Esports. So congratulations, P-Proud. And we still have a battle going on here for third place. And we'll see what happens here. I don't know who we're following right now. We got Papa Freedom's camera. This is Hannah. So I believe this is still our official third place favorite. And wow, we're getting into the roughest geometry of the course right here, trying to avoid some of these obstacles. Now, Hannah wisely slowing down in order to not take too much damage, but you can see some sparks coming off the back of the ship. That's not something you want to see in this race, right? I mean, that means that you've already taken some damage. Where are we right now? It looks like we are going backwards at the first start of the race. Not entirely sure what's happening here. We'll see. They might have to reset their third lap. Some of the officials are saying that their lap did not go as planned. So we're not entirely sure what's happening here. We'll get some updates from the officials, but for now, at least we do have confirmation on our first and second. And Crucian, man, this has been so beautiful to watch. P-Proud coming in with just under 1 hour, 59 minutes and 49 seconds. That is a hell of a time to be racing with no DNFs. That is got to be so exhausting. What have you done after these races to wind down? Because for me, sometimes it's been a beer, sometimes it's been champagne, sometimes it's just cake and laying down on the bed. What do you think these racers going to be doing afterwards?
Champagne, man.
Sometimes.
Man, I mean, hey, just like that movie. What's the movie called? It's Gran Turismo. It was what do you call it? The champagne's only for the podium. So you only get champagne if you're in that third place spot. So we'll see what happens right now. But yeah, we're getting some updates here to see who is going to be in that third place spot. I believe Hannah needs to reset their third lap before they can continue going on here. But yeah, let's jump on here. I want to talk a little bit about, by the way, if you are really enjoying what we're doing here at ATMO Esports, we got some incredible, merchandise and jerseys that you can get. You can represent either the Daymar Rally, one of the filthiest race in the verse, or the System 7 type exclamation mark merch, and you guys will be able to go check out some of our merch. And if you guys want to be able to support what we're doing here, we use all the funds to pretty much kick it back to either building our new website, building trophies for the community winners that are winning our events and all that good stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, please exclamation mark merch in the chat. Check it out, and we would love your support. And if you guys ever again join the community, join the racing community. We got so many incredible communities out there for racing. You got the XGR community, you got Anzia, you got us here at ATMO Esports. Everybody trying to do something different and try to elevate what we're doing here in the competitive scene in Star Citizen. So make sure you guys are there. Make sure you guys are checking out these other communities and race. All right, like I don't want to hear that people say that there's nothing to do in the game, Splend, because we're literally racing every other weekend. We're literally doing something every other weekend. And if you are, if you're enjoying master modes and you really love PvP, we have Fight or Flight coming up in August, and that's a tournament that you for sure don't want to miss. But yeah, we're gonna be getting some fixes here on the leaderboard, Splend, and we're gonna figure out who is gonna be in that third place spot. But it looks like since Hannah is resetting that third lap, it looks like it's Lynx at 42 right now that could take that third place spot and go home with the trophy at Beacon 2024.
Yeah, so that is a huge shakeup again. We kind of called it. We knew there was going to be more shakeups, and yet here we are with a shakeup for third place with Lynxit now in third place as our favorite. Going on about an hour of racing and a lot more left to go if we're averaging around 30 minutes per race or per lap, so a lot to go. And man, shout out to Meyer for the raid and joining us in chat. Hello, Meyer. And sorry you didn't finish. It was awesome to watch your firework explosion at the end of lap number 1. Unfortunate crash the desktop there, but welcome back in the chat. Of course, thank you for all your support throughout the years here at ATMO Esports. But yeah, it's just been an unbelievable event to watch unfold here. With you, Crucian, because this is, again, we knew there was going to be explosions. We knew there was going to be shakeups. We knew there was going to be surprises. And so we got Drawl now, I believe, in third place with a finish. Is that correct? We'll have to get some confirmation of what's happening here, but we have Linksit at the very least either in third or fourth. We're following with Seven's camera here. Drawl is in third. Okay, so we do have confirmation on our third place finish is Drawl Iskander. So there you go. That is our top three, our podium taking home the trophies for Beacon 250. We've got Herbie in first place with a time of 37:01. P. Prout in second place with just under an hour and 59 minutes and 49 seconds. And then Drawl here taking up the third place spot with an hour, 4 minutes and 24 seconds. So I think we're going to get final results later, but all of our officials are currently... Oh, no! We just watched somebody crash. I think that was Linksit taking a bad hit into that tree, and that is a death. DNF. Linksit is out, so fourth place now up for grabs. Unfortunate.
That was their...
Wow.
That was their last life as well, unfortunately, right there, Splend. But I think we have the replay here with Meyer. I think Meyer is in chat, so let's take a... This is Linksit right here. Oh yeah, I think that was more like a rock right there. But let's take a look at Fire. Here's what happened when you crash the desktop. You were doing the ET is what I'm calling it right now, spinning into the air, losing control. And you had a very good position, so very, very tough for that. But yeah, Linksit unfortunately going down with their last life. But yeah, right now, I believe we're getting confirmation that Drawl Iskardud is going to be your third place finisher. And a big shout out here to Planet there, man. I love... This is all in-game, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are watching this at home, this is all currently in-game right now. So our incredible camera team is... man, I love you guys. You guys are incredible. So shout out to all the staff and everybody that has helped us put this together today. Shout outs to Beacon Events for allowing us to do this, but we'll do a little closeout here. But very, very surprising. Look at the time difference there, Splend. What are your thoughts during the time differences between first and second and third place right now?
Well, we had talked about it earlier, but of course, Herbie being our System 7 winner from last year, and frankly, one of the best racers I've ever seen in Star Citizen. Not really a huge surprise taking first place, but hover bikes have historically not been Herbie's strong point, so it's interesting to see Herbie absolutely dominating the field. Now, we're going to say this with a grain of salt. A lot of our competitors here are streamers, not necessarily people who've been racing as long as Herbie. So again, knowledge is power here. The longer you've been racing, the more time you put in, the better your results are going to be. So Herbie, of course, not a huge surprise taking first place, but, again, just a master class to watch. Being able to keep it under control and having things, all set up and knowing the route to be able to where you're going to jump, where you're going to land. It is a beautiful thing to behold. You have to have a lot of mental faculties to be able to remember where those things are and be able to put your lines down to memory and be able to deliver. And that's the difference. That's your 20 minutes up there on the clock. That's what Herbie was able to give us with just those skills. So again, folks, you get what you put in. If you want to become a Star Citizen racer, be ready. Everyone always asks me, Splen, we see you using joysticks. What's the best control scheme to use for Star Citizen? I say whichever one you're comfortable spending hours at a time in. Doesn't matter what your control scheme is. Work on your ergonomics. Those are facts, okay? Because if you want to get in this field, you got to be able to sit for a long time and get comfortable because you're going to be practicing. This is a challenging and difficult esport, not only from the skill point of view, but from the knowledge point of view. You have to know what you're good at. And we got confirmation that Hannah is dead and out. So Hannah no longer in the running for fourth place, unfortunately. So that is it for Hannah. Wow, what a shakeup. We watched that third place drop and then go to draw, and then Hannah is just out completely. We watched Steel Mary, in a second place favorite, get completely knocked out of the race from an unfortunate, a spectacular looking soft death. In fact, if you have that replay up, we would love to see that again because that was a sight to behold for sure. The soft death from Steel Mary was unbelievable. I jinxed it, of course, Caster's Curse. As Steel Mary was coming along. Here it is. Watch this jump. So we're straight up in the air here. Watch the smoke coming off the back of the ship. And unfortunately, we can't get that downslope and just so much velocity before we hit the ground. And that's the soft death. Yep. Unreal. And that soft death has been a game changer in Star Citizen from the salvage point of view, but also from the racing point of view, as it shows. So yeah, Christian, we saw some firsts today, definitely with the first pit stop. We saw the soft death there with Steel Mary. Might have been interesting if Steel Mary tried to run and sprint, but this is a historical event for ATMO Esports and, of course, for Star Citizen. Proud to be here, but yeah, what are your thoughts here now that we've got our podium? It looks like the rest of the chart is DNFs. I think we still have some racers on the ground. Looks like, yep, there's our final racer confirmation, Water Patat. So Crucian, I'll let you take it away here for our finale.
Yep, a lot of death here in today's race. Maybe this course was a little bit too difficult, but, you know, at the same time, again, I'm going to say it over and over because I want, you know, maybe we got some new people, but, you know, maybe this puts a fire in them to want to be able to, you know, learn about the race. But remember, we have so many activities throughout the year for so many communities. But yeah, Water Patat being the last one. Excited to meet her at Beacon as well. You know, she has participated in Fight or Flight and some of our other events that we have thrown in the past few years. So to be able to kind of see the community this time around, I'm very excited. Water Patat getting into this is her second lap right now of Splend. So definitely, yeah, definitely a tough track overall. And this is going to be our last racer because all the racers have all exhausted their lives today so far, Splend. But just overall, what I'll leave here is that I'm just excited for the future. I'm excited for what's to come for not only the racing scene, but for just Star Citizen in general. You know, seeing these big patches go live with 323. Apparently, there's multiple big patches coming out this year. So I'm very excited to see what's to come, man. Excited to take System 7 next year to, you know, to the possibilities of racing in Pyro as well. There's just so much things that are going to be coming that are going to make the game super interesting. But I'm going to be very ecstatic, by the way. That means that Herbie, since you won first place, you have to you could get a train ticket and get your ass all the way to Beacon 2024 so you can pick up your trophy, because we're not mailing it to you, my guy. If not, I'm taking it home, and I have a brand new display behind me. I'm going to put it there. If you don't come to Beacon, Herbie, all right, something is going to happen, okay? I'll pay the train ticket if it's less than $100 myself for you to come out to Beacon. So we'll love to see the entire community out there, man. I can't wait to grab a beer and celebrate, you know, Beacon 2024 with the community. By the way, if you don't know what Beacon Events 2024 is in Liege, Belgium, make sure that you type !Beacon in chat, BEACON. Find that information. If you're in Europe and it's not too far away from you, Liege, Belgium, come out and celebrate with us, not only with the Star Citizen community, but so many other communities that are going to be at this event celebrating just gaming in general. And that's so beautiful. So, yeah, Splend, looking to see here, you know, if Water Patat, sorry, is able to finish, that's going to be great. But she always has such a charisma and confidence in what she's doing. But what a jump here. I think that was on purpose.
Ooh. Oh
no.
God, I knew that. No.
No, Water Patat, what is... Okay. I think that was
God.
Oh
yeah,
man, where's
that replay?
That? Oh man, I just saw Mortal Kombat and just finish him. Like that's what the HoverQuad did.
We saw it coming.
It was on purpose.
At least I saw it coming.
It was on purpose.
Man.
Okay.
Okay. Oh man. Oh
well,
that's so brutal.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one.
We've made it to space. So brutal. We ended up in space. We still have one racer on the track though, I believe, and this is a correction from our officials. We do have Vervien still on the track, but yeah, Water Patat is completely out. It's not quite the end yet. We have one racer down there, but Water Patat finishing in absolutely spectacular fashion for the last DNF. You got to watch those jumps, folks. You know, and you just saw what happened. You get too much vertical and not enough horizontal. What goes up must come down, and you come down fast, and it hurts. And you can see exactly what happens there. So these are very fragile vehicles, like Crucian was talking about earlier. No shields. You got nothing to buffer your fall, and the minute engines you have on the bottom keeping your ship afloat are not always enough to keep you from hitting that ground at excessive speeds, especially with the conditions the servers have been in lately. So you get that desync into the ground, boom, game thinks you're dead. That's what happens.
Yep,
so, you know, it's...
Yep, I believe we still have Vervine that is currently still racing right now. I believe going into their third lap, if I'm not mistaken. We're trying to get a camera there as soon as possible, ladies and gentlemen. So for now, enjoy the beauty of what we call Microtech, or Microtech. So love to see the planet shot there. But yeah, this is gonna be our for sure last racer here. So let's see how Vervine, if they're able to finish this last lap, or are they going to, suffer the same fate as Water Patat going into the building?
All right. So we do have confirmation from our officials that we are on the third lap for Vervienne. We have Papa Freedom here in the chase cam in the beautiful Mirai Fury with the wings unextended mode, getting nice and tight here, so giving us a good view of what's happening. So yeah, this looks like the start of the third lap. Am I correct here, Crucian? It looks like we're on
yes,
the ice heading
correct.
toward New Babbage, right? So we still have a whole lap ahead here. So about if we make it the whole way, we got 15 to 30 minutes, depending on our skill. Hopefully, we're able to hold it together. So yeah, here we go, zooming through the ice. And I say, Vervienne, you better send it. Let's go. You got nothing to lose at this point. We want to see some absolute acrobatics here for the last racer in the last part of Beacon 250. We've been seeing some extraordinary feats, not only, ending in crashes, but some have just, like Herbie with the jumps and the landings, just unbelievably fun to watch. And so here we are coming along. Looks like we're just about to get off the ice and head over to checkpoint number 1. So here we are. This is Vervienne, Papa Freedom in chase. And so Crucian, we were talking about Beacon. Of course, this is what this event's all about today. And we have, do we have any details about the possible ceremony, not ceremony for the racers who are going to show up and claim their trophies?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to jump on it real quick, we can post the schedule up on the screen right now for Beacon while Vervine races. So we'll come back to Vervine real quick. Let's pop up the schedule here. I believe there is a segment here in the schedule. Let's get the leaderboard out of the way as well. But we have a segment here. I believe it's going to be on Saturday. There is going to be a panel with Water Patat. Water Patat is going to be mediating the panel, and we're going to be talking about esports in Star Citizen. And and we will have a translator there, and we're going to be able to talk about the current state of esports in Star Citizen. Like I mentioned to you, that competitive integrity in the game is not there yet, so we don't call it esports. We just call it a competitive event or competitive environment, or that's what we call it that way. So we don't call it esports yet, because there's so much more that needs to happen in order for, let's say, Star Citizen to evolve into a proper esports, especially. And one of those important things is competitive integrity. So I believe that during this panel here on Saturday from 15:30 to 1600, local time in Liege, Belgium, I think during around that time we are going to be doing, I believe, the trophy ceremony towards the end of, I believe, the panel. I'm not 1,000% sure, but you guys can, again, exclamation Beacon in chat, go look at the schedule. It's in French as well on their website. Make sure you guys go check out all the information on their website. It's very detailed. There's so much that's going on, so much to do, a lot of booths, a lot of great sponsors that also sponsor ATMO Esports, like Thrustmaster. Toby is going to be there as well. So many incredible things happening there. So I believe that's going to be that moment in time where we're going to present the trophy to the winners that are going to be at Beacon. If not, we'll ATMO Esports will just do a ceremony, and then we'll hopefully ship it to the winners that have won today from first to third place overall. So big thank you to Beacon Events 2024 for providing the trophies and putting us together with some of the incredible content creators that have been racing today, Splen.
All right, and we can go back to the race now and see what's happening with Vervienne. Looks like we are just about past checkpoint 1 and heading up toward checkpoint 2, the big climb up to the depot. And again, before we keep going here, big shout out to Sakuna and Bauer for the raids. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Raiders. Hope you're enjoying the show here at ATMO Esports. I'm Splendid. We got Crucian here, and we are watching the final, for the third time, transpirings here of the Beacon 250. And we are watching Vervienne, our last racer on their last life on the last lap. So nothing too serious up for grabs here, but of course we're going to enjoy the show. We've seen some spectacular jumps and flights and crashes and racers, sometimes racers neck and neck, sometimes racers 20 minutes apart. It all depends on where you're at that time. So this has been, Crucian, you said it was going to be a medium race. I think I agree with you there still. Despite what we've seen, you got to remember that a lot of these, are not long-time racers. A lot of these folks are just, new to the scene or just content creators who don't necessarily take Star Citizen racing that seriously. So I think from what we've seen from our serious racers, This is about a medium race, yeah. You know, races like the one down in the river canyons with the hover bike, that one, whoo, you know, that one could be pretty tough. But, you know, as far as hover bike races go, this is about a medium difficulty because you do have a lot of space between some of the harder portions. You do have the ice. You do have a lot of places where you can kind of cut loose and just enjoy the wind whipping past your ship. But yeah, wow, there's some belly flopping there. The parts where it does get rough, and you can see it here, if you don't get your height high enough going down these hills, or you don't plan your descents properly, you don't have your velocity vector going with the gravity of the ship, you could end up 6 feet under. As we're watching with Vervien, just kind of scraping along the bottom. We're losing geometry. We've lost our front left nacelle. We're coming up along those trees. Got to dodge. We're not taking these descents right. Nope, we're hitting the ground too hard. We got to make sure we're staying lower if we're not able to control, you know, the latency or the position of the ship properly coming down these hills. You got to be able to compensate. You know, we watch racers like Herbie tilting the ship to the left or right and turning when we're coming off of jumps and we know we're going to have a pretty rough descent. You know, there's a lot of different strategies these racers can employ once you start getting good at the game. And here we go. We're watching Vervien sort of take a little left drift here. That was a little more clean. Oh, unexpected jump, though. Hopefully we're able to keep it together here as we come down and land over belly flopping. Oh, no, we've lost more geometry.
No.
Oh, Crucial, it looks like we've lost at least 2 or 3 engines off of this. Will we be able to see the end of lap number 3 for Vervien?
Yeah, here we go. But want to again give a big shout out. Oh no, they're going up high. This might be the end if they slam into these trees. Going up, slam into the ground. They need to be able to turn the nose, and you'll be able to hopefully have an easier land. But they're losing control since they lost that side motor. They're just drifting right now. Splen, they're just drifting. They're stuck on that tree, and an explosion is inevitable at this time. This is going to be tough for them. They're losing control, and our last racer, unfortunately, did they soft it? Is that going to put them out for the count?
Might not have soft it, might have lost the back thruster.
Lost the back, yeah. No, I mean, it looks like it's still there.
I mean, it might. There we go. We got a little bit of movement here. Okay. A little bit of life left. Y'all only, no strafe, says Herbie. Uh-oh. Father's Game says fly in reverse. That's a strat. It's a possibility. I'd love to see it.
that could happen. That could happen. But yeah, our last racer. This is gonna be great, man. I'm very, very excited. By the way, you know, make sure you every creator that has been here today, make sure you guys go follow them. Make sure you guys show them some support. Make sure you guys show them some love. Always good to make Hugo Slyer, Meyer, Water Patat, some incredible content creators. Cyclone Bar, Sakuna, Verveen, Loken Plays from the UK, Julie Cat. Make sure you guys are showing some love to a lot of these creators. And if you see him, make sure you guys give him some support as well. So thank you for every single community member and creator that joined us today. It's been an incredible race so far. I mean, we only had 3 finishes, but hey, we got 3 trophies, so that's enough for us, I guess. That's enough for us.
Yeah, isn't that something? Only our top 3 ended up getting out alive, and they're the ones taking the trophies. But Vervien here, we kind of saw while you were talking, planted right into a tree. We can see that the damage indicator up there in the top right of Papa Freedom's ship targeting indicator shows that there is some serious damage on the ship. Now we're having trouble even getting off the ground and moving. So Vervien now plotting what the plan is to see if we can finish this race out. But we'll see what happens. All I know is it's going to be pretty dangerous for Vervien to be able to hold it together with the state of the ship. We're missing 3 nacelles, so 3 of the engines on that stabilize the ship. Probably some damage to the back thruster. That means that landings are going to be even more treacherous and difficult.
Oh no! There it goes. There goes the boom right there, and that counts them out. But you know what, Splen, I'm going to say something is that I admire the dedication to finish the race no matter what. And that's what, the spirit of racing is all about. This is some of the best effort that I've ever seen from all the racers today, even with 3 lives. And like I said, thanks for them for joining us today. It's been an incredible day. It's been an incredible race. We still got our top 3, though. Congratulations to Herbie. We have Drali Skaldur. And who was the second?
Be Proud.
Be Proud. Be Proud. So congratulations. Hopefully we see you at Beacon 2024. It's been an awesome day, Splan. Any highlights that you want to talk about that happened throughout the race today?
I hate to be that guy as a racer myself. I like to point out all of the wonderful strategies and everything, but the explosions, of course. I mean, the crashes were spectacular today. I was so excited to see some of them. Just the hover bike spinning out of control and flying through the air and then cascading into enormous fireballs is just a sight to behold. Of course, nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of people watch racing specifically for the crashes, but also we saw some incredibly, go ahead, just cue them up. We'll see some of these while we're talking about it. So there's Myers crash from earlier today. I mean, this was our first oh my gosh, what's happening? The ET phone home directly into oblivion. Here we go. Oh, so beautiful. But here we're going to watch the crashes while we talk about this. Of course, we saw some incredibly skilled flying from Herbie. We saw some incredibly skilled flying from P-Prout and Drawal Iskandar to be able to take our top three. And even some of our non-podium finishers. We have, of course, Gerbo the Gnome, one of the great racers of Star Citizen, putting on a great show. Our first place favorite, but unfortunately took a couple DNFs. God, these are so good. Just watching these clips. It's like watching the Endor speed bike scene in Star Wars 3. You know what I'm talking about? So there. Oh my gosh, there. And then this one. This might be my favorite water patat. Oh, zooming directly into the buildings after going off the ice. Woo! Here we go. Boom, and that's it. Cascading into the walls. Game over.
Oh man!
But honestly, and here's our finale.
Day. It's been a great day here. And by the way, I believe Irving couldn't drive the vehicle anymore forward, so they were apparently going in reverse. So that was pretty wild here. But yeah, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say to everybody at home, sorry that all I'm going to say is that the translations in French was picking up my voice, but it wasn't picking Splend because you don't have the app installed on your end. I thought that it was just going to do it off of the stream. So that was a little bit of a misconception there. But I think that no matter what, here at ATMO Esports, we're always trying to evolve into something bigger. And I think that we are going to look for a solution to in all of our events, not just this one today, to find a way to allow the community to find local subtitles for whenever we have casters up on the desk. So we are going to make that happen in our future events. So stay tuned for some of that, because we know that Star Citizen is so international. It's so many great and incredible and massive communities out there, and we don't want you all to miss a beat. So stay tuned for that for our future events. We're going to make something happen soon. Whether I have to pay for it myself, I want to make sure that the international community gets, hopefully to understand a little bit about what we're talking about. But Splend, an incredible day so far. I want you to spoil yourself a little bit. Where can people find you, and talk a little bit about yourself, and what can we, I guess, see in the future coming up soon from you after you're back to live streaming?
So my name's Splend. I'm world record holder for ship racing in Star Citizen. Been in the scene since the very beginning. You can find me down there. You can see it right under my name at Splenectomy on Twitter is the best place to get a hold of me if you want to talk. That's where I'm most active. And on Twitch, you can find me at /Splen Shepherd, SHEPARD. We can probably get a shout out in chat here to make it easier for people. But if you want to see some in-depth analysis of Star Citizen racing and watch me take on some world record attempts and show others how to get involved in racing, that's what my show is all about. I'm all about teaching. It's my favorite thing to do. I like to get folks involved. I like to get the audience involved in being pit crew and logistics and racing themselves and putting on competitions live in the show. So if you want to see any of that, that's what my show is all about. Been on a bit of a hiatus here between 3.22 and 3.23, but only because I've been testing like crazy, folks. I've been, I'm in Volcati. I've been doing in-depth reports in the PTU and getting all the data together for the racing scene in 3.23. I've also been taking a break to the health. Hopefully I'll be back on the tracks here soon enough. I got to get a little bit of work done on my shoulder, and yes, it's from racing. So hopefully after that's all said and done, I'll be back on. So that's, I'm just a humble dude. I'm just a dad, really, a space dad who likes to race. That's all. Nothing special about me. But if you have any questions about racing, you want to get involved in racing, I happen to be a wealth of knowledge. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll either give you the answer myself or point you in the right directions. It's my pleasure. And of course, I want to get as many people and organizations involved in Star Citizen Esports as possible, as it becomes an esport. like Crucian was saying, it might be a little bit early to call it a true esport, but we're getting there. We could see the community starting to bloom. We could see the organizations really taking this seriously, and it shows just how exciting this is going to be in the future as we get more camera capabilities, more gameplay capabilities, and of course, enormous shout out to the devs at CIG recognizing us, taking care of us, adding our racetracks to the game. Acknowledging that our scene, our blooming esports scene is huge. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. Of course, it was my pleasure to be casting this for the first time for ATMO Esports with Crucian here. It has been an honor to be here to cast and serve with you guys. So Crucian, back to you. I mean, thank you so much for this opportunity. You've been awesome. Of course, I mean, you should talk about yourself a little bit. We love when I raid you when you're live. I know it's not too often. You're so busy, but
yeah, it's all about the team, baby. I'm all about the community. It's all about the team. I appreciate that. First of all, I want to say thank you, Splen, for jumping on here last minute. I blame Croncy. He couldn't make it. I'm just kidding. No, it's awesome to have you here, man. I think it was a fantastic cast. But before I leave you all out of here, guys, I want to say one more thing, man. A massive support to everybody viewing today. Remember, if you can't help buy some merch, always retweeting us on social media, talking to people about the events that we're doing. That is more than we can ever ask for. But if you do want to help support, we got some incredible merch. We just launched the System 7 collection. You guys can grab it now, !merch. The merch theme for this year, it seems like it's going to be those tire threads kind of vibe. I'm not sure if that's going to be for Fight or Flight, but the Daymar Rally has the tire threads, I believe, for the RSI Rover. And then you have the System 7 providing those tire threads for the Cyclone, Tumbro Cyclone RC, one of our favorite and most dominant vehicles that we currently use in the verse. Hopefully we get that boost back. But to everybody at home, it's such an incredible pleasure. If I don't see you, make sure you guys check out Beacon, !Beacon in the chat. It's been an awesome pleasure to be here to present you with the Beacon 250. It was an incredible race today. Yes, a lot of people didn't finish, but I hope the creators and community members, once again, had an incredible time. I hope they had fun. I hope they really enjoyed. I hope to see a lot of these creators at Beacon. And if I don't see you at Beacon 2024, then hopefully I catch you at CitizenCon 2954, baby. It's been an incredible day. Thank you all so much. Have an incredible weekend. Enjoy your Saturdays. And we'll see you at the next ATMO Esports event, which is going to be on May 18th. We have race number 6 of the System 7. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
So long, folks. Bye-bye.